is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are KINSLER.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
It is a hot, steamy night in the Midwest, and tonight the Tigers are in Kansas City. Game one in this four-game weekend set featuring the Tigers and the Kansas City Royals. And a check of the standings in the American League Central Division. Cleveland, Kansas City right now tied for first place. The Tigers hot on their heels, just 2 games back. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us for game one in this series between the Tigers and the Royals. The Tigers lose 2 out of 3, Rod, to Chicago. But another chance now against a divisional opponent tonight in KC.
It should be a wonderful weekend of baseball. This Kansas City Royals team has been money at home. Tigers are a pretty good team as well. Tigers in the last few years have played good baseball here, but they're the reigning world champions. That would be the Kansas City Royals, and the wins are going to be tough here.
All right, here's the good news, though. Justin Verlander is on the mound for the Tigers. He has 20 career wins against KC, but really, more importantly, recently, he's been outstanding.
His last 7 starts, his fastball, the spin rate on his fastball is way high, and he throws it at the top of the strike zone, and hitters just can't pick it up, let alone hit it. Take a look at how this fastball stays on the same plane from the time it leaves his hand until the time it gets into the catcher's glove. Most guys like the ball down. He's working up in the strike zone, and then when he gets you looking up top of the strike zone, he jumps in with you on that curveball, the slider, the changeup. All these pitches working beautifully for Verlander in his last 7 outings. He's also gone to a cutter. He's throwing something at 89, 90 miles an hour. That was it right there to Ryan Howard. But his stuff, Mario, has just been absolutely lethal in the last couple of months. He's been working out of the middle of the strike zone, changing eye levels, getting all the hitters out in the big leagues. His numbers are as good as any right-hander in the game the last month or so.
All right, now the Royals, they've been playing some pretty good baseball despite the fact that Gordon is out of the lineup, Moustakas is out of the lineup, but Hosmer is in the lineup, and he's a really good two-way player.
You know, I had a mad crush on this guy since he came to the movies 4 years ago. I just love his game. I love his swag. I love what he does on the baseball field. He's really grown up the last couple of years in the postseason. He's got a lot of home runs already this year. His OPS for first baseman, it's even higher than Miguel Cabrera. Two-way player, as you mentioned, home runs to left field, home runs to center field. He doesn't pull the ball all that often. He's got good speed. He'll steal your base, and he's won 3 Gold Gloves in a row. The last first baseman, Mario, to win 3 Gold Gloves in a row, you have to go all the way back to '99, where Rafael Palmeiro won 3 in a row from '97 to '99. So he's legit.
All right, this should be the start of a fun series here over the next 4 days in Kansas City. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Tigers shortstop. We'll get Iggy with it. Jose Iglesias has been red hot for the Tigers. Stay with us. Tigers Royals game 1 coming up. play, and his highlight reel is getting awfully full these days. The skills of Jose Iglesias will be on display again here tonight in Kansas City. Back in the ballpark, Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, glad to have you with us for Game 1 in this series. What can we say about Iggy these days, Rod? A 13-game hitting streak to go with that great defense, but his bat has really come alive.
I remember about 2 weeks ago when the team was out on that West Coast trip, and Iglesias was really struggling with the bat, and he did an interview. And he said, you know what, I'm keeping the course. I'm still getting quality plate appearances. It will just be a matter of time before I start to swing the bat efficiently. And he's done that in the last 13 games. 386 with 6 extra base hits, 8 doubles, so he's getting on base. And what I really like about him, Mario, is his two-strike approach. When he gets 2 strikes on him, he doesn't choke up, but he cuts down the effort level to about 85%. And he's been able to put some balls in play, as he did in last night's game. Big home run for the ball club last night against one of the best left-handers in the game. That would be Chris Sale. But Iglesias, he's playing with a tremendous amount of confidence, and as you mentioned earlier at the beginning of this piece, his defense has been stellar.
All right, now these Royals, they went through a really rough stretch. They're playing better baseball of late, though. They've won their last 5 consecutive games, but when you look at their numbers here at home at the K, they've been awfully good.
A lot of one-run games. That bullpen is still locked down. That bullpen's still one of the best bullpens in the game. They've got a really good manager as well in Ned Yost. We've already talked about Hosmer at first base, but they're led by the catcher. That would be Salvador. He leads most guys as far as that bat's concerned, extra base hits and also slugging. The starters, that's probably an area where they need to improve, but the bullpen kind of makes up for that with the guys that they've got down there. And one of the things I noticed about the team, Mario, when I looked at their 25-man roster when we got here today, there's a lot of different faces on the 25-man roster, but the one constant with this team, led by Dayton Moore, their general manager, and their manager, Ned Yost, they just win a lot of ball games.
All right, Tigers and Royals, Game 1 coming up. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios, check in with Kristen Keith. But good news tonight for the Tigers lineup. Victor Martinez missed the last 3 with a sore knee, but he is back in there tonight. Tigers Royals, Game 1 from KC is next. Tonight, the Tigers roadshow continues. The first of 4 here in KC. The Tigers starting lineup tonight, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Ian Kinsler will get things started. Ian, against left-handed pitching, has been awfully good this year. Iglesias in the 2 spot. Cabrera is playing first base. Victor back in there, the DH, followed by Martinez and Castellanos. And a bottom 3 of Upton, McCann, and Aviles, and they are facing the left-handed offerings of Danny Duffy.
And Danny Duffy is probably pitching some of the best baseball of his career. He was not in the rotation at the beginning of the year, but since being inserted into the rotation, he has been simply stellar. His fastball gets up to 97, 98 miles an hour. He's got a really good changeup, and he also has a breaking ball that he calls a slurve. Not necessarily a good slider, not a curve, sort of in between.
27-year-old out of California, Danny Duffy, ready to go to work as Ian Kinsler stands in. The Tigers losing 2 out of 3 in Chicago, and now they face another divisional opponent. Royals playing some good baseball. Should be a good matchup.
Should be a good weekend of baseball.
First pitch on the way is outside. 1 ball and no strikes on Kinsler.
And one of the things that you will notice about Duffy this year, he's working exclusively out of the stretch, which has really helped him limit his base on balls. He's gone from nearly walking 4 per 9 to just 1.5 per 9 innings this year. So that area has really improved for him.
The 1-0 pitch is a strike on the inside corner, and Kinsler disagrees with Angel Hernandez. Danny Duffy struck out 10 in his last start against the White Sox, coming off one of his better starts of the year. We have always felt he's had terrific stuff. Here's the set and the 1-1 pitch. Ian swings, pops it up down the first base line, foul ground. Hosmer back toward the tarp, makes the catch. Tough play for Eric Hosmer.
Hosmer's been in the big leagues for 4 years, and he has won the last 3 Gold Gloves. He plays that position about as well as anybody in the sport, whether it be the American League or the National League. Real good range, real soft hands.
So with 1 out, that'll bring up Jose Iglesias. Iglesias in the 2 spot. Cameron Maybin is out of the lineup tonight. Then if you want to stick somebody in there, you might as well put Iglesias up there. A 13-game hitting streak. There's ball 1 inside to Jose.
And during the course of the 13-game hitting streak, he's gotten it done in a variety of different ways. A successful squeeze play. He homered the opposite way yesterday against a tough left-hander in Chris Sale, and he gives you a really good plate appearance with 2 strikes.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Bouncing ball slowly toward the shortstop. Escobar going to charge it barehanded, throw him out.
Already these Gold Glovers that they have in the infield are showing off. Hosmer made a real nice play, and then you have Escobar charging this ball. He probably could have used his glove, Mario, but he elected to use the bare hand, and he picked it flawlessly off the carpet and fired the ball to first base.
I think you're right. I think he had a chance to still glove it and throw him out, but he was showing off there, man. That's a great play.
I'd smile too, young man, if I could make a play like that. Got 2 real good shortstops in the building here tonight.
2 up, 2 down. Here is Miguel Cabrera for the Tigers, batting .301 on the season.
Struggling against left-handers this year, though, for Miguel. No one can figure that out.
Duffy works it home, and it's fouled away.
Duffy hanging right around 94, 95 for everybody else, and all of a sudden Miguel steps in the batter's box, and here comes 97.
Cabrera gets everybody's best shot every single night, and Duffy is no different.
He and the catcher Salvador Perez, they'll be chopping it up pretty good here for the next 4 days. They both love to talk, in case you haven't noticed.
Cabrera stands deep in the box, and Miggy cuts and misses. 0-2 on Cabrera.
97 with the previous pitch, and he comes back with an 85-mile-per-hour changeup. Same arm speed out of the same window. What a pitch.
Duffy has looked awfully good so far, looking for the 1-2-3 inning. Now the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Cabrera goes down swinging. The Tigers go 1-2-3. Duffy needed just 8 pitches to get through the top of the first. Here come the Royals in the bottom of the first inning. No score. Top of the first, here come the Royals in the bottom of the first inning. And for KC, their starting lineup presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Merrifield, Escobar, and Hosmer at the top. They have CAIN, Sal PEREZ, who's been awfully hot, and KENDRYS Morales in the middle of the lineup. Paulo Orlando is in right. Cuthbert and Brett Eibner rounding out the lineup tonight for the Royals. Some different names and faces. Justin Verlander tonight, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Justin's had a lot of success against the Kansas City Royals in this ballpark, and even at Comerica Park. 20 wins for Verlander against Kansas City Royals in his career. And he's going to need to pitch as well as he's pitched his last 5 outings if he's going to beat him here in this ballpark tonight.
Whit Merrifield leads it off and takes strike 1 right at the knees, 0-1. Merrifield batting .330 on the season, playing at second base. The Royals just let go of Omar Infante, the former Tigers second baseman. Merrifield takes the ball high, 1 ball and 1 strike.
That's the pitch that we'll watch for tonight. Thrown by Verlander. The fastball up around the letters of the Kansas City Royals. It'll be firm at about 95. That's the pitch that he's had a lot of success with the last 7 starts.
Fouled off right back to the dugout of the Royals, 1-2. Ned Yost can smile about it. Apparently, Merrifield took a shot at him down there.
Don Wakamatsu, and the bench coach of Ned Yost to his right, left of your screen.
Well, they're smiling these days. The Royals have won 5 consecutive games after losing 8 straight. Verlander now with the 1-2 pitch. Bouncing ball left side, base hit, out of the reach of Iglesias. Whit Merrifield is hit safely in 5 in a row, and the leadoff man is on.
That Merrifield kid can do no wrong. Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense presented by Beaumont Health. In the outfield tonight, you have Aviles in left, Upton's in center field, J.D. Martinez in right, and Castellanos, Iglesias, KINSLER, and the big fella Miguel at first. James McCann is the catcher tonight.
Here is Alcides Escobar.
Well, you wonder how Ned Yost will play this in the very first inning. And one of the things that Escobar does very well, he's a good sacrifice bunter. Has 6 sacrifice bunts already this year. And the way Verlander has been pitching all season, Ned Yost might just want to get a run on the board early.
And Castellanos on the cut of the grass at third base, just in case Escobar is thinking about laying one down. .244 batting average for Alcides Escobar. He has not homered yet this year.
Loves to swing at the first pitch.
And he does. It drives it in the air toward left center field. Ball hit pretty good. Still going back. And it's going to drop right by Justin Upton. Merrifield coming to third. He is in there safely. And the Royals have runners at second and third.
Miscommunication in the outfield between Justin Upton and Mike Aviles. Justin Upton, he ran over and he put his hand up to indicate to Aviles that he was going to catch the ball. Watch him when he gets over there. He puts the hand up, but Aviles didn't stop, and he was in fear of running into Aviles, so he simply pulled off. And unfortunately for Verlander, that's going to be a double for Escobar. Maybe.
It is a 2-base hit. Escobar stopped running. He thought that ball was going to be caught. Upton is out in center field tonight with Cameron Maybin out of the lineup again this evening. And they have Aviles in left, so not the optimal defensive alignment out there. Here's Eric Hosmer. It's an early scoring chance for the Royals. Hosmer rips at the first and fouls it back.
Hosmer having an outstanding season and batting .318. He has 12 homers and he's driven in 40 already. And former #1 draft choice of the Kansas City Royals.
At .318 batting average, good for 5th in the American League. And they play him to pull on the infield. The outfield, however, giving him a lot of room to right center field. The 0-1. Bouncing ball back up the middle. KINSLER will make the play. Some productive out there for Hosmer. He scores a run and advances the other runner.
That's good baseball play. That's how you play the game. Now the infield more than likely will come in with CAIN coming to the plate. I don't think Brad will give them 2 runs. They're going to make CAIN earn the next run.
RBI 41 for Hosmer. Now here is CAIN. Batting in the cleanup slot for the Royals tonight. Infield in for the Tigers. CAIN batting .284. Verlander came into this game having pitched his best baseball in his last 7 starts, an ERA of 1.93. But he has given up a single, a miscommunicated double, and a ground out for a run. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Looped in the air toward right field. Long run for Martinez. Still coming. Going to drop in. Base hit. CAIN is on his way to second. And he is sliding in safely with a double and an RBI.
Tigers somehow are going to have to try to match the energy tonight of this Kansas City Royals team, which plays superb baseball here at the K. That's a changeup that's down and in, or fastball tailing down and in, and he just kind of slices it into shallow right field. And by the time JD Martinez picks it up, even with a strong arm, Lorenzo CAIN head first sliding into second base with the second double already the inning.
CAIN now with 36 RBIs. Here is Salvador Perez. Royals out to an early 2-0 lead. And Perez backs away from a breaking ball strike, 0-1.
And Salvador Perez kind of had his way against Justin Verlander in his brief career. Justin really has had no success getting him out.
Really not many recently have gotten Salvador Perez out. He was 6 for 12 in that series against the Indians.
A couple of home runs late in the games too.
Stands deep in the box. Whoa, you're not kidding, are you?
477, 21 for 44 is Perez against Verlander. Not many guys walking around with those kind of numbers against JV.
Good swing and a miss.
Good pitch. 2 real good curveballs to Salvador Perez to get ahead of him. No balls, 2 strikes.
Pretty well located too.
The bottom just fell out of that breaking ball as soon as he got into the hitting zone.
Still only 1 out in the inning. RBIs for Hosmer and CAIN here in the first for the Royals. The 0-2. Lifted in the air. Right center field. Coming over is Upton. Runner will tag and hold as Justin gets it back in.
Let's take one more look at the Upton play out in center field. The miscommunication between he and Aviles. You can see he's got the hand up and he's also calling it, but he did not think that Aviles saw him calling it, and because he doesn't play out there very often with Upton, and therefore Upton slowed down and that ball fell in for a double.
So with 2 outs now, here is KENDRYS Morales. Morales having a slow year this year, batting in the low 200s, only 7 homers and 24 RBIs. Trying to drive in a 2-out run. That'll bounce in. 1 ball to no strikes.
Morales was a difference maker for the Kansas City Royals last year. We talk a lot about CAIN. We talk a lot about Hosmer. We talk a lot about that outstanding bullpen that Kansas City has. But without this guy, they don't win a world championship last year.
No question about that. He pretty much replaced Billy Butler in their lineup, and boy, did he hit some big home runs for them. Drove in a lot of runs.
Switch hitter with power. He's a run producer.
Verlander ready with the 1-0 pitch. 2 balls to no strikes on KENDRYS Morales.
Well, Verlander has the base open here and probably does not want any more damage done against him in this particular inning. So he might just be pitching around Morales here to get to the on-deck hitter. That would be Orlando.
Look at the numbers this year compared to last year on June 15th. 41 RBIs against just 24 this year.
Yeah, that's why he's batting down in that 6th slot right now.
The average way up last year compared to 205 this season. There's a strike called on Morales.
95 miles an hour with that last fastball thrown by Justin Verlander. Nice, smooth, easy delivery.
Temperature in the 90s here for game time tonight, so neither one of the starting pitchers should take a while to get loose.
Kansas City Royals, they did not take batting practice on the field today.
Little bouncing ball slowly towards second. Kinsler has it. And that is that for the Royals, but they grab a pair of early runs against Verlander.
City Royals starting defensive alignment presented to you by Tim Hortons. A couple of new faces. They've got a kid in left field by the name of Eibner. They've got CAIN in center field, 166 putouts for him, which ranks him first in the majors. Orlando on right, Escobar, Merrifield up the middle, Cuthbert and Hosmer on the corners, and Salvador Perez is catching Danny Duffy.
Still a pretty good defensive team even without Moustakas and Gordon. Duffy goes back to work here facing Victor Martinez, who swings on the first and drills it to left field. That ball is up there, and that ball is in the bullpen and gone.
He's not going to have to run very fast if he continues to hit like that, Mario. You won't have to worry about him running.
Victor Martinez with a solo shot off Duffy here in the second. 2-1 ball game.
Boy, do they miss him when he's not in the lineup.
Well, he was out for 3 games, was only held at pinch hitting duties in Chicago, but he hit one to the left of the bullpen, out beyond the left field wall, and just like that, the Tigers are on the board.
That's a fastball that's right down the middle. He tried to bully Victor. Victor wasn't having any of that. He got some real good bat speed through the strike zone and drove it out of the yard down the left field line.
So Martinez hits number 10, RBI 36. Bring up J.D. Martinez as the celebration is ongoing in the dugout. 364 feet on the Victor homer. Here's a guy that's been hot for the Tigers. J.D.'s average up to 287.
And everything that he has hit, man, he has hit extremely hard. The ball is making a loud sound coming off of Martinez's bat these days.
How about some of those hits that he had in the series against Chicago? I mean, you're right. Everything was a line drive. He was 7 for 13 in the White Sox series. Duffy with the 1-1 pitch coming. And it slides in for a strike. 1-2 on J.D. Martinez.
That's the breaking ball that I was speaking of that Duffy features. It doesn't have a lot of tilt to it, does not have a lot of break to it. Therefore, most people in this industry, they call that a slurve. It's in between a slider and a curveball.
Now the 1-2, swing and a miss.
Got a real good changeup today.
A couple of strikeouts now for Duffy, and that'll bring up Nick Castellanos. It also brings us to the Bernstein advantage, the pitcher-batter matchup between Castellanos and Danny Duffy. .313 career against Duffy, 5 for 16. So he sees the left-hander pretty well. Nick has been slowed a little bit offensively on this road trip. He has 4 hits. No balls, 1 strike on Castellanos. It was a couple of years ago that right here in this ballpark, Nick picked up his first major league hit. And since then has really progressed very nicely offensively.
Wasn't a couple of years ago in this ballpark as well that he was introduced to the country when he played in the Futures game, wasn't it?
That's correct. Yep. Before the All-Star game here. Strike called on the outer edge. Nick not so sure that was a strike.
That's the biggest difference with Danny Duffy these days. He is throwing a lot of strikes, and he's confident since starting the season in the bullpen. He was good in the bullpen, so they kind of got his pitch count up, so they got him back in the rotation, and he's been outstanding in the rotation.
Lefties this year are batting just .189 against Duffy. There are no lefties in the Tigers lineup tonight. The 0-2 just off the plate, 1-2.
Yeah, Duffy thought he had strike 3.
There you go, just a .189 against lefties, 245 righties.
All 6 of the homers that he's given up have come off of right-handed bats.
Here's the 1-2, and that one just missed at 97. 2-2 the count. Duffy struck out a career high 10 in his last start against the White Sox, and that was a big start for the Royals because it snapped their 8-game losing streak. Here's the 2-2. Full count now, 3-2. Justin Upton waiting on deck. Tigers play 4 here this weekend and then return back home as the month of June begins to wind down now. The Tigers 1 game over the 500 mark at 33-32. Brad in his 3rd season, gaining on 200 career wins. Castellanos sends it high in the air to center field. That ball is hit well. CAIN going back though, edge of the warning track to make the catch. 2 gone. Here on the field conditions tonight, presented by Ace Hardware and the Scott's Company. We said it was in the 90s, mid-90s, 96 degrees at game time tonight. And a good crowd here at Kauffman Stadium. They are hopefully staying hydrated. Wearing their Royals blue. Here is Justin Upton. Swing and a miss, 0-1 on Jay Up. 6 hits on the road trip for Upton. Batting average now at .230. Tigers get a run back on the home run by Martinez. 2 outs, nobody on. So that fastball from Duffy remains upper 90s. That last one at 97 again.
And the one thing that Duffy can do, he can maintain that same velocity into the 7th inning and the 8th inning when he gets up to about 100 pitches. He has one of the best left-handed arms in the business.
That'll go foul right by Vizquel down the first base line.
It's fascinating to see him with this kind of command, though. We've never seen Duffy throw this many strikes.
Yeah, that was the one thing about Duffy. You loved his arm, you loved his ability, but his control was always an issue.
And it appears that since he's gone to the stretch exclusively, the command has gotten a whole lot better. Not as many moving parts in his windup.
And he got him, strike three. He broke one over the plate to strike him out. 3 strikeouts for Duffy.
All 3 of Duffy's strikeouts tonight have come on off-speed pitches.
However, Victor Martinez leads it off with a solo shot, his 10th home run of the year. And it's now a 2-1 ball game. On top of the Tigers, we go to the bottom of the second here at Kauffman Stadium in KC on a warm evening here in the Midwest. Justin Verlander goes back to the hill. He gave up a single and a pair of doubles in the first inning, putting the Royals on top 2-0 before the Victor home run. Here is Paulo Orlando to lead it off for the Royals. Orlando looks at a strike on the outer edge, 0-1.
Orlando getting a lot of playing time so far this year, and the numbers are outstanding. And he's batting .331. He has 1 homer and 11 ribbies, and he's an outstanding defender in the outfield.
First chance to play in the big leagues last year with the Royals, and he hit .249 in about 86 games in KC. He's got some skills.
Also good numbers against the Tigers in his last 4 games, a couple of home runs and 6 driven in against Tiger pitching.
Here's the 1-1.
He was a track star in Brazil. He could really run.
And that's why I believe he had 5 or 6 triples early last year when he first got to the big leagues. A triples machine. 351 over his last 26 games. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Hammered toward right field, slicing away to the corner. Martinez on the run, can't get it. It'll drop in up against the wall and roll away. And now Orlando is on his way to third. They're going to stop him there. Once it hit the wall and rolled away from J.D. Martinez, and Orlando is off to the races. J.D. may be hurt. Kevin Rand is running out of the dugout for the Tigers, the head athletic trainer, to take a look at J.D. Martinez.
Not sure what happened to J.D., but we'll see if we can figure it out. Oh, looked like he hit his face off the arm off the wall.
Maybe. That right arm, shoulder?
Yeah, something like that. That's what he grabbed for. He
struggled to get that ball back in. And Orlando was off and running. It ends up at third base. JD in some pain now. It might even be the wrist.
Something to do with the right arm. We do know that much.
That wall came up on Martinez quickly.
He's coming out of the game.
Man. Well, the Tigers are running short of outfielders now. Maben has been nursing a sore quad and a wrist. And now JD Martinez coming out of the game.
You saw Kevin Rand motion with his hand there that he may have twisted his wrist or something when he pushed up against the padding.
Andrew Romine will get a glove and he will come out to play some outfield now. We'll see how the Tigers line him. We may have Aviles go to right. So JD coming out of the game. Leadoff triple for Paulo Orlando.
If you're wondering about Cameron Maben, he's got a sore quad, and that's the reason why he's not starting in this game tonight.
So the Tigers lose a big power bat out of their lineup.
And a guy that was extremely hot swinging the bat the last week.
Once we get word on JD, we'll pass it along. But Romine is in the game. He will play center, and it looks like Upton will go to left. And Aviles to right.
This might give us a better look. Right there. Really jammed that wrist. It's a good thing that JD was able to go over and alert that ball and get it in, because the kid Orlando, man, it was looking like he wanted an inside the park home run the way he was running.
And I thought he was going to be sent. But with nobody out, they held him at third base. So here is CHESLOR, Cuthbert. Tigers down 2-1. Leadoff man at third with nobody out. Popped him up foul, back out of play.
This Royals team the last couple of years has really changed as far as its approach is concerned. Now, they used to be a team that liked to work counts, a team that took a lot of pitches. But now this team is swinging at just about everything that Justin Verlander throws up there in the first couple of pitches. Very aggressive Kansas City Royals offense these days.
It's a Royals team that has played extremely well here at home. We talked about it at the top of the broadcast, but they've won 9 straight here. We'll back him out of there a little bit. 1 ball, 1 strike on Cuthbert. Two doubles and a triple early in this game for the Royals. Cuthbert at 273. Here's the 1-1. Up and in, 2 balls and 1 strike. Verlander came into this game with 20 career wins against the Royals. That is more than any other team that he's faced. 20-8 overall in his career. Two and 2 now on Cuthbert. Brett Eibner waiting on deck. Now, really, Rob, the Royals have done well, at least recently, without Gordon in their lineup, Moustakas in their lineup. Those are 2 really big pieces.
Yeah, they've been able to get by with Merrifield, the guy that's playing second base. These days, they absolutely love him. He has burst on the scene. The Eibner kid, as well, has performed very well. And Hosmer and Perez, those guys are still getting better as hitters. They're really growing up.
That ball came up and in again to Cuthbert. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And Tigers are conceding the run in the infield. Unless he hits to Miggy. And then Orlando will not be able to score anything else on the ground. To third, to short, to second. Orlando will come home.
3-2. And he got him. Strike 3. Froze him with a breaking ball, and he's out of there. 1 gone.
Fastball, curveball was a mix. And to Cuthbert.
One gone. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Brett Eibner. Came off the disabled list with an ankle problem. And he is back in their lineup. .462 this year. He's played in just 4 games before he went on the DL. Now the infield coming in with 1 out. Ball high, 1-0.
And Verlander continues to throw that fastball upstairs, a pitch that has been so good for him his last 7 starts. But so far, the Kansas City Royals have been able to lay off the elevated fastball.
2 balls, no strikes.
Last 7 starts, a 1.93 earned run average. The whip is under 1, and he's averaging nearly 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. Man, did he turn the corner after those first 6 starts.
And he has not looked back. And not coincidentally, he's wearing his pants up high, showing a lot of socks in this current stretch. Here's the 2-0. Line drive into center field, base hit. The drawn in infield, and Eibner gets it through to make it a 3-1 ball game. Third RBI of the season for Eibner.
Throwing duck.
So the Royals come right back and get the run they gave up on the Victor Martinez homer. Here's WHIT Merrifield. He singled in the first. Merrifield played his college ball at South Carolina, a good program with the Gamecocks. He was a member of the 2010 College World Series championship team. Keeping a close eye on Eibner at first base.
Since he's come to the big leagues, all he has done is hit. And he is batting .337 in 100 at-bats in the big league so far.
Florence, South Carolina, his hometown. Merrifield at second base. We mentioned that the Royals parted way with Omar Infante. There's some rumors floating around out there that the Royals are taking a look at Jose Reyes, who was recently let go.
Where would they play him?
Second base, I guess. That's the rumor.
Really?
Because everything you read on the internet is always true, right?
No, I wouldn't. I mean that's the kind of player they like. They like guys that can run like
they do.
Reyes. He's available, and once he clears waivers, you can pick him up for the minimum salary. There are probably going to be a lot of teams out there for his services.
Meanwhile, JV continues to send Eibner back to the bag. And another throwback, and that was close. He was leaning that time, and Eibner spun his wheels a little bit.
Verlander wants them to look at that one. He thought he had him. Let's take a look at it.
Just got back.
I don't think there's enough evidence there to warrant a look at it. Verlander has a quick move. Those of you that have watched our broadcast, Verlander's been in the big leagues, you know that he has one of the quickest moves for a right-handed pitcher.
Now the 0-1. Swing and a miss.
Verlander has a real good breaking ball here today. That was a slider at 87. That curveball's been anywhere from 79 to 82. And really during this 7-game stretch, he's been on a tear. All of his pitches have worked very well for him.
The 0-2 on the way, bouncing ball back to the mound. Just into second one, relayed at first is a double play. 1-6-3 to end the inning. The Royals get another run. They lead 3-1. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Ram Trucks, come discover great deals during the Ram Drive and Discover event. And by Kroger. Be a good day to jump into a fountain.
For sure.
Man, is it hot here. 3-1 is our score. Royals on top of the Tigers. And Danny Duffy goes back to work. It'll be James McCann to lead things off for the Tigers. Duffy surrendered a homer in the second to Victor Martinez. Ball 1 to McCann.
And one of the things that you admire about a catcher like Salvador Perez, yes, he's very talented, but for a guy that's as big as he is, 6'5", he sure gives the pitcher, excuse me, a very low target. He gets way down there. He's below the knees.
The 1-0. A little bit outside. 2-0 on McCann.
Two real good catchers in the building tonight, Mario, and McCann and Perez. Of course, Perez has won the last couple Gold Gloves. Both of these guys have superior throwing arms.
McCann this year has thrown out 54.5%. Here's the 2-0 pitch. It's a ball outside, 3-0. And Perez not far behind him. He's at about 46, 47%.
Yep, those are the two best in the American League.
3-0 on McCann. Way high and inside to the backstop it goes. Ball 4. The Tigers get the leadoff man on. By the way, stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game. We'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game. Presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day. First walk of the game for Duffy. That'll bring up Mike Aviles. .225 for Aviles. Although he has perked up with the bat recently, he's hit safely in 8 of 10.
Last couple of weeks, he's got a lot of playing time.
Much more so than the first month of the year, where Brad was really struggling to find time for both Aviles and Romine. 323 in the month of June. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike on Aviles.
Aviles made his major league debut with the Kansas City Royals.
Here's the set by the left-hander. Line drive to center, base hit. That'll get McCann to second base, and now the Tigers have something going here. 2 on, nobody out.
And since Aviles has gotten some consistent playing time, the numbers have continued to get better. And when you have bench players and role players like Romine and Aviles, you have to try to get them in any way that you can so that they can really help you. And when you call upon them, and Aviles has started to do that.
So the tying runs are on now in a 3-1 ball game. That'll bring Perez out to the mound. Tigers have the top of the lineup coming up. Ian Kinsler will stand in.
Ian Kinsler has been pulling the baseball more this year than in the first couple of years that he was in a Tigers uniform. He's hitting more like the Ian Kinsler of that decade that he spent in the Texas Rangers uniform.
Ian looks at a strike. He came in batting .389 against left-handed pitching. Right now riding a 6-game hitting streak. Numbers really all across the board for Kinsler are on a record pace for him. Here's the 0-1. Strike on the outer edge, and Kinsler can't believe that call. And now Angel Hernandez hearing about it.
Ian Kinsler had a beef with one of the strikes that Angel Hernandez called on him in his first plate appearance. Ian thought it was low.
Here's the 0-2. little bit outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
If you notice when Ian's in the batter's box, when he takes that left foot, it's just a little bit of a toe tap, but he gets set really early. He almost gets set before the pitcher delivers the baseball, which gets the hands in a position to where you can really clobber some fastballs. Sometimes when you get set this soon, you might have trouble with breaking balls. Just a real simple toe tap, and he gets set really early.
Low ball 2. KINSLER needs 1 more run scored to get to 1,000 for his career. I was talking to him in Chicago and asking him at the end of the season, which of the statistics do you think mean the most to you at the end of the year when you look back? And he felt that runs scored and RBIs.
He's already scored 57 runs.
Now the 2-2. High pop up. Third base side, heading back toward the seats, and it'll be out of play. Well, KINSLER is on pace to become the 7th fastest to 200 homers, 1,000 runs, and 200 stolen bases since 1913.
That's a long time ago.
It is. He needs just a couple of homers and 1 run scored to join that group.
He might join that group before the weekend is over, the way that he's been hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
Would not be surprised. Duffy again ready with the 2-2, but KINSLER is given time.
And the Kansas City Royals, they play Ian Kinsler to pull on the infield. Hosmer, the first baseman, he's about 20 feet off the first base line. And Merrifield, the second baseman, basically directly up the middle.
Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. 4th strikeout of the ball game now for Duffy.
Duffy had a career high 10 strikeouts in his last outing against Chicago White Sox.
Elevated out of the strike zone, and KINSLER went after it.
Yeah, hanging breaking ball at 85 miles an hour. I was talking about how quickly when you get set every now and then, because you do get set so soon before the pitcher throws the ball, every now and then you could swing and miss at that breaking ball.
Menards brings you the big money encounter. Iglesias in his last 13 at 386 clip. So he's been red hot. He'll look at ball 1. Iglesias hit that slow roller to the shortstop Escobar, who made a barehanded play against him in the first. 2 on 1 out. Tigers down by a couple of runs. Here's the 1-0. Pretty impressed with Iglesias early in the year when he was struggling offensively. It never really affected his defense, and I think he has enough confidence to know that eventually that average would get back up again. It was up to 250 coming in.
He also knows the fact that he's already hit 300 a couple of times in the big leagues, that sooner or later those hits would fall as long as he continued to have a really good approach.
Fastball at 96 in the upper reaches of a strike zone. 1-2. Cabrera waiting on deck. McCann walked, Avila single to start the inning. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball hit towards short. Escobar to second, 1 relay to first. Not in time, and he beat it out. And that will leave runners at first and third.
That's a tailor-made double play with anybody else running with the exception of Iglesias. It's a nice feed by Escobar. He gets to Merrifield. They turn it over as quickly as possible, but they did not turn it over. Iglesias gets that left foot on the bag right before that ball is nestled in the glove of Hosmer. And that is huge because that allows Miguel Cabrera to come to the plate here with 2 outs and a couple of runners aboard.
Miggy struck out in the first inning, 0 for 1.
Yeah, he carved him up pretty nicely on 3 pitches.
First and third, 2 outs. And Cabrera waves and misses 0-1.
Here's our bell tire pitch by pitch. This is how Duffy went up against Miggy in the first. First pitch fastball 97. Then he comes back with a superior breaking ball followed up by another breaking ball. 3 pitches and he strikes out Miguel Cabrera.
Cabrera's up there now with the tying runs on and 2 away.
And the outfielders for the Kansas City Royals, they really shade Miguel Cabrera to right field. Everybody swung way around to the right side of the playing field.
The 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That might have been a show me pitch by Duffy. He wants to get back to that breaking ball that he's had success already with throwing to Miggy.
Cabrera looks at ball 2, missing low and away. 2-1. Miguel has 7 hits on this road trip. He hit 4 of those in 1 game. That was on Tuesday night against the White Sox in Chicago. Duffy quick throw. Keeping an eye on Iglesias. Duffy now at 43 pitches. He needed just 8 in the first inning. Here's the 2-1. Stayed away. 3 balls and 1 strike on Cabrera. Victor Martinez on deck. Right now he is responsible for the only Tigers run, a solo shot in the second. Here's the 3-1. Lifted in the air toward right field on a line. Orlando coming over to make the catch. Duffy pitching out of a jam here in the 3rd. Go to the bottom of the 3rd tonight here in KC, and here's the Chevy Silverado most dependable players. Kansas City Royals at home this year. They've been really dependable against the Central. How about 11-1 at home versus teams within their division?
But look at how many runs they're scoring per game.
That helps.
Over 5 per game. Their batting average is over 300, and the opponent's average is 229, so they're getting some good pitching as well at home.
Alcides Escobar will lead it off for the Royals here. Escobar, Hosmer, Cain, 2, 3, and 4. And JV brings it home, fouled back out of play. Fastball from Verlander.
Good pitch here by Justin Verlander. Everybody in baseball knows that Escobar loves to swing at the first pitch, so you don't necessarily have to throw him a strike. you know he's still going to swing at it if you make it enticing enough.
The 0-1. Verlander has done really well in this ballpark over the years. We mentioned he's beaten the Royals 20 times, but 12 of those have come here at Kauffman Stadium. ERA of 2.85 in this yard. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Escobar had a double, scored a run in the first inning. Batting in the 2 slot recently. In fact, this is his 7th consecutive game batting second. He had not been batting in that position since, well, a couple of years ago, the 2014 season. 1-2, a swing and a miss, and an ugly swing as he went fishing. 1 away here in the 3rd. Time for a game break now in Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. So Colby Lewis came very close to no-hitting the Athletics. Hosmer looks at a ball inside, 1-0.
Good pitch and make Hosmer move his feet. He's been awfully comfortable this year, and he's really comfortable hitting the baseball here at home. Lots of power to center field, lots of power to left field.
Hosmer on Friday hit 2 home runs against Chris Sale.
Who?
2 home runs against Chris Sale. And Hosmer now has 5 homers against left-handed pitching this year.
That is only the 5th time that Sale has given up home runs to a left-hander, and by 3 hitters. Brennan Bosch hit 2 against him. You just mentioned the fact that Hosmer did it just last week, 2 home runs against Sale, and Travis Hafner is the other one to do it. But that's amazing. 2 home runs against Chris Sale.
Hosmer and Martinez among the leaders in batting average. Hosmer came in at .317.
Hosmer's OPS, and that's on base percentage and slugging percentage combined, is higher than Miggy's this year.
Whoa. Throwing some Gold Glove caliber defense. That's a pretty good player.
Well, that's the reason why he's the leading vote getter as we speak at that position over at first.
Hosmer had a ground ball to not get a run in the first inning. He has hit safely in 24 of his last 25 games. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Hosmer. They'll play him to pull. They give up the entire third base line. Outfield, however, is fairly straight, maybe shading him toward left.
Hosmer's got more hits the opposite way this year than he does to the pull field. Going back to that curveball.
Just got a piece of it to stay alive.
That's what I was talking about regarding Hosmer and the fact that he's got power in every direction. 6 to straightaway center field. And I know a couple of those have come right here in spacious in this ballpark. 3 home runs also to left field and just 3 to the pull field.
Swing and a miss, and Hosmer down on strikes. Verlander got him that time. Back-to-back strikeouts, number 3 on the night for JV.
Verlander is calling this a slider, but it looks a whole lot like a cut fastball to me these days. It's very little tilt on that particular pitch at 90 miles an hour. But when he throws it at about 87, 88, you see much more tilt. You see much more depth. But that's a little sharp, quick break right there.
Yeah, I'm with you. That looks more like a cutter than a slider. But Justin said, nope, I'm calling it a slider. And in the end, doesn't really matter. I mean, a lot of these pitches now are starting to morph into each other. Lorenzo Cain, an RBI double in the first. Here's the 0-1. Cain slicing one to right field, base hit. And over there to cut it off is Aviles. That'll hold him to a single.
You better get it in a hurry, because every time Cain makes contact, he's thinking 2 out of the batter's box. He puts a lot of pressure on the outfielders. Take a look at CAIN here. He's thinking 2 right now. He's putting pressure on Aviles. And a lot of times when you have guys that run out of the batter's box that aggressively, as a defender, you ever so slightly, Mario, look up, and if you mishandle that baseball and you just happen to drop it, and that base runner will stretch that single into a double or cause you an error.
And you get the Tigers right now have a couple of guys in the outfield, and Romine and Aviles, that are not natural outfielders, but the injury to J.D. Martinez earlier in the game, he left with an apparent wrist or arm problem.
Well, depending on what's going on with J.D., they might have to make a move. They might have to go down to the minor leagues and bring up that kid, Jacoby Jones. He's playing center field now, I believe, in AAA.
And do it very well. Here is Salvador Perez. Perez fly to center field in his first at bat. Royals now have put up 6 hits against Verlander. There goes the runner. Here comes McCann's throw. It's on target. Tag is waiting. He's out. Man, what a throw by McCann. And that'll end the inning. James McCann fires a bullet to Ian Kinsler, who is waiting with the tag. And the Royals are done here in the third. No runs, a hit, nobody left. You are out.
Off the 4th inning with the Tigers down 3-1. There was a moment earlier this afternoon when Victor Martinez's biggest fan called him over. Kennedy Carroll is 9 years old. She's from around Kansas City. She had a sign that said, "I want to hit like Victor Martinez." He went over and gave her a hug. They met when she was visiting Orlando. Of course, Victor's off-season home is in Orlando. They developed a friendship there. They've seen each other a few times. And when the Tigers were here earlier this season, guys, Kelvin Herrera hit Victor Martinez with a pitch, and Kennedy's mom told me that Kennedy was outraged that one of her Royals actually hit her hero. She's a Royals fan, but she loves Victor Martinez.
That's a great story. Thanks, Keats. We all wish we could hit like Victor Martinez.
And we all love Victor Martinez here in the Motor City.
There's a strike on Victor, who homered in the second. Line drive home run over the left field wall. They've got the Tigers on the board. It'll get things started here in the 4th inning with the Royals on top 3-1. Victor, then Romine, and then Castellanos. Swinging a foul tip into the glove. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Martinez. Duffy had a little trouble in the third, gave up a walk and a single, but managed to pitch out of it. Struck out Kinsler and got a grounder and a fly out. Now Duffy ready with the 1-2. Line foul, back out of play. Duffy, for the most part in his career, has pitched well against the Tigers, although his record would not indicate it. He's 3-6 against the Tigers, but an ERA of 3.09.
Yeah, they haven't done a whole lot of damage against him.
And he is holding Tigers batters to a 206 batting average. Again, the 1-2. Victor sends a ground ball foul. Martinez hit his 10th home run of the season back in the second. Victor's been one of the better hitters this year in the American League on the road. 389 on the road. More than that now with his homer in the second. And again the 1-2. Lifted back out of play. Martinez has been bothered by a sore knee. That's the reason he did not start in Chicago. And Brad has been very careful with not overdoing it with Martinez. As he says, we need Victor for the entire season, not just a series.
And it's not the same knee that he had surgically repaired a couple of years ago. This is a different knee. This is the right knee.
Duffy having a tough time putting him away. And another foul back to the screen. Tigers have had trouble recently keeping their starters intact in the lineup. They've had Maven in and out. They've had Martinez in and out. Now J.D. Martinez out of the lineup tonight. There's Wally Joyner, who, by the way, tonight is celebrating a birthday.
How many?
I don't know. I'm not going to tell if I knew. He'd get mad at me.
No, he would. Well, he looks young.
He does. There's a high fly ball deep into left field. Heidner going back, track wall, and it's gone. A home run for Victor Martinez, his second of the ball game.
Do it, Victor. And as I said, when he hit his first home run of this contest, Brad will not have to worry about that right knee and him running because he is trotting around the bases.
He has been all of the offense tonight for the Tigers, and what an at bat that was.
Pretty swing by Victor.
So Martinez has taken Duffy deep twice in this game as Romine swings and misses. And another celebration on the bench for Victor. He now has 4 home runs from the right side of the plate. 4 of the 11. Romine looks at a strike and the count is 0-2. Romine just slides into J.D. Martinez's spot in the lineup, which is 5th. Here's the 0-2. Bouncing ball slowly towards shortstop. Running scoop Escobar. 1 gone.
And one of the things that we admire about Victor, whether he's batting left-handed or right-handed, he's got tremendous balance through his swing. And catches that ball up at the top of the strike zone, gets on top of it, and hits it about 15 rows deep into the fountain in left center field.
It was an 8-pitch at bat for Victor Martinez, and that gives him 8 career multi-homer games. Here's Castellanos. Nick flied out in the second, hit it deep to center. Batting .295 now. Castellanos dipping under the 300 mark for the first time since mid-April. Here's the ball low, 2-0.
Nick waiting on the 2-0 pitch. Here it is. Lifted back out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike. Duffy last year spent the majority of the season in the rotation, then was moved to the bullpen the last 2 weeks of the season, and pitched out of their bullpen in the postseason last year.
Also pitched out of the bullpen earlier this year when the Tigers made their first visit to Kansas City. Dave Island, the pitching coach.
Here's the 2-1 pitch, and it's low. 3 balls, 1 strike. Victor's last multi-homer game was August 6th last year, and it was against these Kansas City Royals.
So he likes the Kansas City Royals.
He does. Picking on him. 3-1 on Castellanos. Nick drives one in the air, deep to left center field. That ball is hit well, and we are tied. Home run for Castellanos, his 13th of the season, and just like that, it's 3-3. 3 solo shots for the Tigers in this game.
And Castellanos got himself a 3-1 fastball in the mid-90s from Danny Duffy. And he didn't miss it, and he knew it was gone. He carried the bat 3/4 down the line, and then he finally let the bat go. That's very deep. That's out in Victor Martinez territory.
Number 13 for Nick, his 39th RBI of the season, and it's a 3-3 ball game. Let's see if Upton will join the party here. Duffy fell behind 3-1 and paid for it. 407 feet on that homer. Upton looks at a ball away. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And Duffy overthrew that last fastball to to Justin Upton. 97 miles an hour.
Royals pitching this year has now allowed 81 home runs.
It's a big ballpark here, too.
Exactly. The 1-1 pitch.
They must be giving up most of their damage on the road, though. They've not been a good road team. They're 10 games under 500 on the road, are the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah, much different story at home. 22-7.
They're filling this place up nightly here. Kauffman Stadium.
Here's the 1-2. Upton thought about it, but did not go.
Yeah, Danny Duffy's going to show you the 4-seam grip, and that he throws his fastball with, and Nick Castellanos was waiting for it.
Here's the 2-2. Little outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And they're making Duffy work here in the 4th inning. McCann waiting on deck. Tigers fell behind by a couple of runs early. They've come back to tie it up at 3. Little pop up right side of the infield. Hosmer back to the grass. 2 gone. Fans, you can buy 1 ticket, get a second one free to see the Tigers battle the Seattle Mariners on June 20th through the 23rd. To purchase, visit tigers.com/BOGO. Buy 1, get 1. How about that group of Tigers fans with their Tigers orange? In the middle of all this Royals blue.
All geared up. And boys' night out.
Enjoying a beverage or 2.
Yeah, they are. Doing a lot of 12-ounce curls.
You got to stay in shape. You know?
Yes, you do. You got to stay hydrated, man.
That's right. Typically, water is the beverage of choice for that, though.
They look like fish out of water, though, don't they? That orange around all that blue.
McCann stands in, takes the ball. Well, they're representing. They're not afraid. Yeah, they are sticking out, aren't they? Here's the 1-0 pitch. A little bit outside, 2-0.
And Tigers making Duffy work here. And his second time through the batting order.
3 solo shots tonight for the Tigers. 2 of them for Victor Martinez and 1 for Castellanos.
Let's take a look at the big boys, big play of the game. James McCann threw out Lorenzo Cain. Cain had an outstanding jump taking off from first base, and it looked like he was going to make it safely. But James McCann, he threw a seed right down to the bag at the end. KINSLER just grabbed it and just laid the tag on Cain's left hand. What a throw. You cannot make a better throw than McCann made right there. That ball got down to second base in about 1.9 seconds, which is outstanding for any catcher. We told you 2 of the best throwing catchers are in the ballpark here tonight, Salvador Perez and James McCann.
Yeah, McCann has had an opportunity to show his wares. 3-1 on McCann.
He should get a good fastball to hit too, just like Castellanos.
Here's the 3-1 pitch. It'll get back out of play down the right field line. Got some news on J.D. Martinez now. And for J.D., here is the play. He was trying to hold himself up. J.D. Martinez has a non-displaced fracture of his right elbow.
Oh, my goodness.
So we'll see what that means in terms of how long he will be out of the lineup, but a non-displaced fracture of the right elbow for J.D. Martinez.
That's horrible news.
Here's the 3-2, and it's high and away, ball 4. So McCann walks for the second time in this game. Absolutely terrible news on Martinez, and J.D. even ran down that baseball after it caromed off the wall and got it back in. Now Dave Island coming out to have a chat with Duffy, whose pitch count is starting to elevate now. Mike Aviles will be stepping in. Aviles a single in the third. He got the Tigers rolling, but they could not score. They left a couple of runners on in the third. 3-3 game. We're in the fourth. And it's low, 1-0.
First time through the batting order, Duffy was getting ahead of nearly every Tigers hitter. And his second time through, a lot of nice, friendly fastball counts for Tigers hitters to hit in. It's another one here for Aviles. Throw him a breaking ball. Good pitch.
Aviles was the Royals Player of the Year back in 2008. Hit .325 that year. Knocked in 51. He was among the best rookies in the American League. In fact, he finished 4th in the Rookie of the Year voting that season.
He really had to earn his way to the big leagues too, because he did not go to a big program in college.
The bouncer hit to second. Routine play there for Merrifield, who throws him out, and that'll retire the side. Tigers do some damage, though. They've tied this ball game up. The long ball tonight for the Tigers. Victor hits his second of the ball game, and then Castellanos follows it up. 3-3 game. Power stroke had tied it up with a pair of home runs in the fourth. It is a 3-3 ball game.
A big inning here for Justin Verlander. Make sure you get your team back in the dugout with the score still tied at 3.
It'll be Perez, Morales in Orlando in the fourth inning.
See how Verlander goes after Salvador Perez. Perez, real good numbers in his career against Justin.
3 runs on 6 hits for the Royals. The Tigers 3 runs, 4 hits. Game 1 in what will be a 4-game weekend set here in KC. And Perez is backed out of there, 1-0.
And Verlander more than likely wants to get him out with another breaking ball. He got him to pop up shallow center field. His first time up, he got him on that front foot with a breaking ball. He'll be looking to do the same thing after the first pitch fastball inside.
Perez came in batting .410 over his last 16 ball games, and he drills one to left but foul.
And he's all over everything Verlander throws. And the ball boy down there, Mario, just about got 8 up.
Just about.
Look at him. He almost got 8 up.
He was eating up.
You got your cup on, young man?
Oh my goodness. He threw his glove out there.
He's like, whoa, that thing came to eat. Looks sweet though, blue glove and everything.
Yeah, got the helmet going. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Oh, he hit him. Perez hit by the pitch on the wrist. Verlander came up and in on the first pitch. Perez gave him a bit of a look, and now he drills him. So they want to take a look at Salvador Perez. Royals certainly have had their share of injuries. They can't afford to lose anybody else. Moustakas and Gordon are already out. Moustakas done for the year.
Let's hope he's okay.
Where did that get him? It looked like
the hand.
Yeah.
Like the hand, man.
That's a dangerous area. Perez looks to be fine, though. Flexing his left hand. Messing around with Miggy now. Told Miggy to get off the bag at first base. Perez just reminding him. Kendrys Morales steps in, and he rolls one foul, 0-1. I would think, Rod, they're going to need Morales to get it going offensively.
Yeah, they need him to start to produce the way that he produced last year, for sure, if they're going to go anywhere.
Batting just .204 this season. Knocked in 106 runs last year, and he looks at a ball inside.
Verlander pitching the right-handers and the left-handers, very aggressive inside with mid-90s fastballs. He hasn't elevated the ball as much up in the strike zone today.
Bender drops in high, had him out in front, but he couldn't pull the trigger. 2-1.
A good changeup if he locates it well, or a good breaking ball at the bottom of the strike zone could get the ground ball and get Verlander the double play, and which would aid him in getting out of this inning without giving up a run. Morales doesn't run very well.
Belted foul down the right field line. 2-2 on Kendrys Morales. Verlander touched up early in this game, gave up 2 in the first and then 1 more in the second. His teammates have been able to fight back and tie it up. Playing to pull on the infield against Morales. Swing and a miss.
There's that elevated heater.
It'll be 4 strikeouts now for Justin, 1 gone. Well, tonight's game, we are participating in the Home Run Challenge to benefit prostate cancer research. And so far, after 3 days this week, nearly $1,260,000 has been raised. You can make a pledge by going to homerunchallenge.org and help make a difference. One away for Paulo Orlando. Orlando had a triple, scored a run. His last time up, he shot that ball to right field, the one that Martinez made a running play on, and then eventually fractured his elbow. The news on JD, a non-displaced fracture of the right elbow. .336 now for Orlando. And he has really hit Tigers pitching well in his brief big league career, now 8 for 16.
With a couple of homers.
That'll again go down the right field line, slicing toward the corner and out of play. Oh, 0-2 on Orlando. And the 0-2 pitch. It is outside. Good block by McCann.
Nothing more valuable than having that catcher, and that you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that if you do throw the breaking ball and you happen to bounce it, and you've got the utmost confidence in the catcher to pick it out of the dirt and make sure the runner doesn't advance. And James McCann does that very well. I'm going to try to finish him off with the fastball.
Fly ball in the air toward right field. Aviles going over to the corner. And the runner will hold 2 outs. Orlando trying to shoot that right field corner again. We'll bring up Cuthbert. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Cuthbert struck out in the second inning. His first time up, he's 0 for 1. He came in with the second highest batting average among American League rookies at .273. He fouled that one straight back, 0-1.
Last year we had a ton of rookies burst on the scene with some tremendous numbers.
Yeah, last season was a busy season for rookies. Set on the bottom of Cuthbert's bat. Looks like he has the knob taped up. Here's the 0-1 pitch. High, ball 1.
Just another way of choking up. You'll see some guys that put some tape on the bat or whatever that is, and basically that's an indicator of exactly where he wants to hold it. Kind of fancy though.
Yeah, it's new age. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss.
Good fastball, 95 miles an hour. Justin's been consistently at 95 all night long. He hadn't gotten much above that. It's that four-seam fastball up in the strike zone.
One and 2 on Cuthbert with Salvador Perez at first base. 2 outs. Swing and a miss. He got him again out of the strike zone at 96. And Justin now with 5 strikeouts on the night. No runs, a hit batter, and 1 man left. Tonight, J.D. Martinez left in the second inning with a non-displaced fracture of his right elbow. That's bad news for the Tigers. Victor Martinez, couple of homers in this game, and Verlander has settled down after a bumpy start in this one. Now Danny Duffy goes back to work facing the top of the Tigers lineup. Ian Kinsler leads it off, and he takes ball one. Kinsler, a pop-up and a strikeout. Iglesias will follow, and then Miguel Cabrera. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it's low, 2-0. There is activity. Joakim Soria is warming up in the bullpen for the Royals.
Got a deep bullpen if you got Soria up in the fifth.
No doubt. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and it's in there, a strike. Duffy started this game by needing just 8 pitches to get through the first, but he has since given up 3 home runs. Two balls and 1 strike on Ian Kinsler. It'll dive in for a strike, 2-2.
It's a good pitch there by Duffy. Yeah, throwing a change up there and a fastball count.
Checked it. Did he go? He did not. Will Little down at first base said he held. 3-2. Royals have 3 runs on 6 hits. The Tigers have 3 runs on 4 hits. Popped him up. Shallow right center field. Who wants it? Merrifield can't see it, but the right fielder Orlando can, and he hauls it in. Well, after a weather-shortened day out of Oakmont, first-round coverage of the 116th U.S. Open will continue tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern on FS1, followed by regular second-round play on FS1 and Fox, or you can watch it all live on Fox Sports Go.
Sweet looking golf course there.
You'd tear it up, wouldn't you?
I might be able to get a birdie or 2 on that track. I didn't see too many obstacles, not too many trees.
I'd tear it up too, but by that I mean divots. Here's Iglesias. A couple of ground balls for Jose. Duffy ready with the 0-1, and Iggy looks at the ball down low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Iglesias currently has a 13-game hitting streak, which is the longest as such streak in the major leagues.
The longest of his career, though, he's gaining on it. 18 a couple of years ago. Hammers one toward left field on a line. It's going to hang up there, though, for Abner. 2 outs. 0 for 3 for Iglesias. Hit it hard, though. It'll bring up Miguel Cabrera. Strikeout, flyout for Miggy. Ball 1 to Cabrera. Duffy has not had a 1-2-3 inning since the first. Victor Martinez, couple of solo shots. Nick Castellanos, a solo homer. And Cabrera looks at a strike. Well, since 2008 here at Kauffman Stadium, Cabrera a solid .318.
11 homers and 57 driven in.
Now the 1-1. Little nubber right back toward the mound. Duffy will make the play. And he'll just lob it to first base. It'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Duffy. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. Play the Indians June 24th at 7:10 p.m. plus a 16-ounce beer for as low as $19. It's the Friday night party package. Visit Tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. 3-3 is our score as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning now here at Kauffman Stadium. Justin Verlander back to the mound. He's got Brett Eibner to lead things off. Eibner, Merrifield, and Escobar. And the first one is hammered to center field. Hit pretty good as well. Romine going back, looking up, and it's gone. On the first pitch of the bottom of the 5th, Brett Eibner homers.
First big league home run for Eibner, just called up today off the disabled list. They say he hit for a lot of power in the minors, but that's his first at this level.
4-3 Kansas City.
He jumped on that first pitch fastball that Justin threw right around the belt buckle and hit it out to right center field. That's a poke there. That's not a cheapie.
Eibner hit 19 home runs last year in the minors. He's got his first major league home run. Merrifield fouls it down the right field line.
I told you earlier that the Kansas City Royals are swinging early and swinging often against Verlander. And he's throwing that first pitch strike. They're slashing at it.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, showing bunt. Merrifield had a single. He scored a run in the first, also is knocked into a double play in this game. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Well, you said it was not a cheap home run, and I'm here to tell you it wasn't. 412 feet.
It's pretty good distance in that direction.
There's a pretty good first big league homer. And there's the ball right there. I'm sure a trade will be made. That'll bounce in. That woman's probably calling her agent right now.
Yeah, she's already ready to negotiate. First,
a selfie with the baseball. Now, what are you willing to go up for?
Are they going to get some tickets or something?
Oh, at least. 2-2 the count. Ooh, good bender. See you later. One gone. We check in now with John Keating.
Well, Mario, tomorrow here there will be no batting practice, but it's for a great cause. A handful of years ago, 3 Kansas Cityans who you've seen on the big screen, Paul Rudd and Jason Sudeikis and Rob Riggle, came together on behalf of Children's Mercy Cancer Center, and there's a softball game that will be played here. We were here a handful of years ago when all the guys were there singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." They were killing Gene Lamont, who was coaching third base at the time. And we also will add here that our friend Johnny CAIN, who now works for us, used to work here in Kansas City, and as the Royals were on their way to the World Series, Paul Rudd told Johnny CAIN, "Party at my mom's house. I've got a keg. She's not home. $5 cover."
That sounds like some common stuff there.
Yeah, that went all kinds of viral, and Johnny CAIN now a rock star, but it had to do with Paul Rudd's mom's kegger.
Johnny CAIN does not need any help from Paul Rudd to be a rock star. We know that. Thanks, Keats.
Okay.
$5 kicker. How about that?
No, keg and $5 cover. That's
$5 cover.
Some high school stuff there.
Escobar, the batter.
When the parents go out of town.
Oh, man. Who knows what happens when the parents leave town. There's a ball outside, 2-1. Well, negotiating has begun now. What do you think? Maybe a bat?
At least a bat, signed ball, probably from one of the big boys on the squad. And then some tickets.
Here's the 2-1. That's popped up. See if it gets back into the seats. Miggy is on the move. Might have a play. And Cabrera is able to get it. Nicely done. Pretty good run and play there by Miggy.
We saw Eric Hosmer make a similar play earlier today on a ball off the bat of Ian Kinsler.
Fans giving it to him now.
And Miggy likes to have as much fun with the fans as possible, but the one thing that he doesn't tolerate is when they say something foolish. And apparently somebody said something foolish.
Well, they wanted the baseball, and Miggy just simply turned. Here is Hosmer now with 2 outs. Look out. That one makes him skip and it hit it.
That's the second hit batter of the day for Justin Verlander.
He also hit Salvador Perez.
It's the first time Hosmer has been hit this season.
Royals have taken the lead 4-3 in the home run by Brett Eibner.
It's also the first time that Justin has hit 2 batters in a game this season.
Lorenzo Cain, the batter, and he checks his swing, strike 1. Cain with a 2-hit night, doubled in a run in the first, singled in the third, was caught trying to steal a bag.
Verlander pitch count not in horrible shape. He's only thrown 73. Needs 1 more out to get out of the 5th. And it's one of the things that Verlander has done in the last 7 starts. He's pitched it in the 7th inning in all of them. And resting that bullpen for Brad Ausmus.
Little chopper hits slowly towards short. Iglesias waits on the hop. His only chances for the force. Hosmer is out to win the inning, but a home run by Eibner gives the Royals the lead. Victor Martinez due up to lead off the 6th. He's homered twice tonight.
Magic Moonshot presented by Magic Window. The first pitch Victor Martinez saw this evening, he homered against Danny Duffy. That was in the second inning. And then in the fourth inning, he hit another home run against Duffy to left center field. So a couple of solo shots in the contest today for Victor.
Ball flying out of the ballpark tonight. 3 home runs for the Tigers in this game, and Eidmer has hit one out for the Royals, and KC with a 4-3 lead as we go to the 6th inning, and we have a wall-side windows pitching change. Joakim Soria is on now.
And the former Tiger is starting to pitch a whole lot better. In 30 games this year, 3.23 ERA, the 1.27, that's the whip. 29 strikeouts, 13 walks. Soria has a fastball that gets up to 93. Couple of breaking balls, the slider and the curve and the change, and he'll throw all 4 of those pitches in any count.
So Duffy gives them 5. Soria now will come on to face Victor Martinez, who leads it off and looks at a ball outside. Ned Yost thinking, let me try someone else against Victor. Martinez homers in the 2nd and 4th innings. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and Soria delivers low. 2 balls, no strikes.
We were talking about the possibility of the youngster down in AAA, and Jacoby Jones coming to the big leagues. He's in AAA playing center field. And if he does so, and of course, that's the guy that the Tigers traded to. Soria traded Soria to Pittsburgh for Jacoby Jones.
And that is looking to be a spectacular trade. Now, the young man has not played a game in the big leagues. Jones, that is.
He's going to be a good player, though. All indications are that he's going to be a good player. Here's why Ned Yost went to the bullpen to bring Soria out of the bullpen to go up against Victor Martinez. Victor hasn't enjoyed a lot of success prior to this at bat against Joakim.
Chopper right side of the infield. Hosmer has it. He's going to take it himself with Martinez running. 1 out here in the 6th inning. Where the guys Brick Paving brings you the scouting report on the Royals bullpen, which we're seeing for the first time here in the 6th inning tonight in some of their major league ranks the last 2 years. A lot of innings, and that's, you know, I don't know if that's a good thing, especially, Rod.
No, because they've gone into playoffs deep, World Series the last couple of years. They need to get some starting pitching. They need their starters to go deeper in games. If they want that bullpen to be as good as it's been the last couple of years, they've got to find somebody, a couple of guys in the rotation to go 7 innings, 8 innings every time they go out there, and to make sure, at least on those days, Mario, the bullpen gets a breather.
Here is Romine with 1 out.
Everybody really has patterned themselves after the Kansas City Royals bullpen the last couple of years. And why not? It's been the best in the game.
There's a drive in the air to center, sinking, base hit. 1 out single for Romine.
Let's take a look at the Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game. Danny Duffy was also in the game, and it was a 3-1 offering to Nick Castellanos. And Nick absolutely clobbered that baseball out into the fountains in left center field. 3 home runs given up today by the left-hander Danny Duffy.
So Castellanos now has the tying run at first. That is the 2nd home run that Nick has hit on the road trip. The other one came in New York.
And Romine at first has some speed, but Soria, excuse me, uses the slide step. And we've told you that the catcher Perez has a very good arm, so may not be all that wise to try to steal.
A little low, 2-0. Salvador Perez is at about a 47% throwout clip, 46.7. Two outstanding throwing catchers in this game. Of course, McCann has thrown a run out tonight. That was CAIN back in the 3rd. Here's the 2-0 from Soria. High towering fly ball to left field. CAIN is coming over to the warning track in front of the wall to make the catch. Romine tags. He'll go to 2nd, and he's in there safely. Boy, Castellanos almost hit another one.
Looked like he hit that one right off the end of the bat. It was a breaking ball, and if he hits down the label a couple more inches, he might have had himself another. Yeah, he sure did, right off the end of the bat.
So with 2 outs, the tying run moves to second base. We'll bring up Justin Upton. Soria last year saved 23 games for the Tigers. Upton is 0 for 2.
It's the second tour of duty for Soria in a Royals uniform. His first time here, he enjoyed a tremendous amount of success as their closer. He was one of the best in the game, as a matter of fact. I mean, there was Mariano Rivera, and then there was Soria. That's how good he was and efficient he was closing out games in the American League.
Twice he had 40 or more saves with KC back in the heyday.
He'll throw you that real slow eephus pitch as well. And depending on how long he stays in the game, it's a breaking ball at about 60 miles an hour.
Soria is 32 years old now. Part of the Royals bullpen that in the last couple of years, as we showed you, has been one of the strengths of their team. Out of Monclova, Mexico. Breaking ball and a wave and a miss.
He's got one slower than that. And that one was 72 miles an hour. Just kind of flipped out of the hand by Joaquin. But he's got one that he'll throw in the 60-mile-per-hour range.
One and two with a tying run in second. 2 outs in the 6th. Upton takes inside. 2-2. McCann waiting on deck. Got him. Strike 3. And Upton can't believe it. Down goes the bat, and the helmet follows. No runs and a hit for the Tigers. They strand a man in scoring position. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. For T-Mobile's greater coverage of baseball, then how about Clayton Kershaw? This guy just continues to get it done for the Dodgers. He's won 37 games since 2010 in which his team has scored 3 or fewer runs. So he's pitched in some tight ball games, rolling up the wins, doesn't walk anybody, strikes out a lot.
That means he's had really no margin for error in those contests, but yet continues to win tons of games. His most amazing stat, Mario, is I think he has like 127 strikeouts, 126 strikeouts, and he's walked 6 batters this year.
Doesn't seem possible, does it?
That's just stupid.
Salvador Perez leads it off as we go to the bottom of the 6th, 4-3. Royals have the lead here in game 1. There's a foul back out of play. Kershaw, the best pitcher in baseball right now?
Yes, he is.
Who would be second on the list?
Probably Arrieta for me. Go Arrieta. Most of the guys are in the National League. We got some guys in the National League that are just flat out dealing, man. Bumgarner's getting off. John Lester is pitching some outstanding baseball too. And for the Cubbies.
Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way, and Perez shoots a ground ball right by Cabrera into right field.
Verlander just cannot get Salvador Perez out.
Let's check in with Mickey York now. Time for a game break. All right, Mickey, thank you. Here it is 4-3 in favor of the Royals. They have the leadoff man on here, the 6th.
I'm sure Chris Sale would get some consideration as well. His name would get mentioned. We saw him last night, and he looked like the Chris Sale of old in that contest against Tigers bats.
You know, here's a guy that many wouldn't think of. He pitched here in Kansas City last year, but Johnny Cueto is 10-1 with San Francisco.
I saw that yesterday. Dealing, man. They could use him here.
I mean, who's going to start for the National League in the All-Star game this year?
Kershaw.
There's a strike called on the left-handed batting Morales.
As good as Kershaw has been in the Cy Youngs that he has won, he's never started an All-Star game.
That's kind of hard to believe.
It is.
Infield playing to pull on Morales. The Royals have just picked up their 8th hit of this ball game. Here's the 0-1. Justin still throwing mid-90s. This next pitch will be his 80th of the evening. Tigers really had to go to the bullpen a lot in that series in Chicago, and as Brad mentioned, they are a little bit tired down there, so they need JV to go in deep into this game. Good pitch, a strike call.
Here's our high-speed pitch, and it is brought to you by Xfinity. And Justin has been up to 96. The majority of his fastballs have been anywhere from 93 to 95. He has gone as low as 69 with that really good curveball that he's had all night long.
Here's the 1-2. Checked it low. Verlander wants the appeal, but down at third, Gabe Morales said he held.
And most of the pitches to Morales have been at the bottom of the strike zone. He's a really good low ball hitter. And you wonder if they're thinking about maybe elevating one around the letters to see if they can get Morales to swing through it. Verlander's already gotten quite a few swings and misses on that pitch tonight.
Two balls, two strikes. Leadoff single by Perez.
And going back inside again.
Up and in. 3-2.
96.
Orlando waiting on deck. Fouled straight back. Verlander gave up 2 in the first, 1 in the second, then settled in until Brett Eibner hit his first major league home run to lead off the 5th inning on a fastball straight over the center field wall. And that made it 4-3. Tigers have 3 homers tonight, 2 by Victor, 1 by Castellanos. Little pop up. Shallow left field. On the move is Justin Upton. First out of the inning. So Morales now is 0 for 3. Here's Paulo Orlando. In each of his last 2 at-bats, Orlando has hit one to right field, right in the corner. One went as a triple, the other nestled in the glove of Mike Aviles.
Yeah, that one triple, boy, that nearly turned into an inside the Parker. This guy could really run. He's a track star in Brazil.
Swing and a miss.
There's that slider up at the top of the strike zone at 90 miles an hour.
Luke Hochevar tuning up down the bullpen for KC.
And the Tigers are going to come back in this contest. They're going to have to beat some really good arms coming out of that KC bullpen. Hochevar, Herrera, Davis. Verlander has had an outstanding curveball tonight, but really in his last 7 outings, Verlander's had a great curveball. Good slider, good fading changeup. That's why he's pitched so well.
Oh, 0-2 on Paulo Orlando. Off the end of the bat, down the first base line, Verlander will fire to first for the out. That'll advance the runner. 1-3 on that ground out. CHESLOR Cuthbert now with 2 outs. He has fanned twice in this game. You got Cuthbert to chase out of the strike zone last time.
CHESLOR Cuthbert. Try to say that fast 3 times.
Nope, I'm not going to give it a shot. That's one of those names where you just look at it and you pronounce it very slowly.
You really have to think about it a little bit.
Kind of like Buck Farmer. You look at it and you pronounce it very slowly.
Yeah. Cuthbert.
Here's the pitch, and it's low and away. Blocking again down there is McCann, holding Salvador Perez at second.
You know, you were talking about Merrifield and Cuthbert. They both show up in multi-hit games for rookies. 11 for Merrifield, 6 for Cuthbert.
He is only 3 for 15 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this year. Bender again from Verlander, missed outside, and Cuthbert would not offer. 2-0. If you're wondering where someone named CHESLOR Cuthbert would hail from, he hails from Nicaragua.
Oh. With a name like that, huh?
Corn Island, Nicaragua.
Corn Island, Nicaragua.
Never been there?
No.
Here's the 2-0 pitch, and it's outside 3-0.
We got players all over the world playing in Major League Baseball these days. Tons of players from Cuba the last number of years. Now Korea has quite a few players playing in the big leagues now.
It's expanding. Australia as well.
Brazil.
Here's the 3-0 pitch, and he's taking all the way 3-1. Brett Eibner, the number 9 hitter, waiting on deck. 4-3, Royals lead. We're in the 6th. Foul straight back. Full count now on Cuthbert, who hit his first major league home run against the Tigers last season. You've got Eibner, who hit his first major league home run this season against Detroit. He's waiting on deck. Three and 2. And he walked him, ball 4. 2 on, 2 out. Had to bring up Eibner.
If you're just joining us the last time, Eibner stepped up. He jumped on a first pitch fastball from Justin Verlander and hit it 420 feet the opposite way for his first major league homer.
In fact, Eibner has a couple of hits off Verlander tonight. 2 for 2, 2 RBIs.
He's hit them both hard too. Batting .533 in the 5 games that he's played in.
There's a strike on the outer edge, 0-1. Verlander's thrown over 100 pitches in every start but 2 of them this year. He's at 94 right now. Nothing going on in the Tigers bullpen. Here's the 0-1. Driven toward left field. Here comes Upton on the move to make the catch. No runs, a hit, a walk, 2 men left, 6 in the books, and a beautiful night in the plaza area of Kansas City. Tigers and Royals in game 1.
Which is the 3rd city on what's a very long road trip for the Tigers. And we asked them earlier today, some of the Tigers, tell me your hotel room from the first stop in New York. We went New York, Chicago, Kansas City. New York seems like a month ago. So I asked some of the guys, what was your hotel room number? Of course, I was met with pretty much blank stares. Nobody really holds on to that information. Rod, what was your room number in New York City?
Oh,
404.
Is that true?
Yes, it was.
No, you're
wow.
making that
No,
up.
I'm serious.
No, I can vouch for it because I know he was on the 4th floor in New York.
But I forgot my room number in Chicago though. I went to the wrong floor.
And that's pretty much what the story was from several of the guys. Of course, we'll have this for you tomorrow on Tigers Live. It's like, no, they can remember the one in New York City, and then they went to the same floor when we were in Chicago. So it's part of the rigors of travel. It's what we do.
The worst, John, is when you like leave your key upstairs and just say you just check in. Yep. You go downstairs. You happen to just leave your key in there, and you're leaving one place going to another place, and then you go downstairs and the lady says, "What room are you in?" Let me think about it for a minute.
I think the worst is using your key to get into somebody else's room.
Oh, that could be bad, John.
A stranger. Hello.
That could be bad, John.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. Thanks, Geets. Look forward to that tomorrow. Meanwhile, we have a new pitcher for the Royals. Luke Hochevar is on to face Mr. McCann. A wall side windows pitching change.
He's got a fastball that gets up to 95, 96, Mr. Hochevar. He also has a cutter that he throws a lot, and he has a curveball. This guy, former #1 draft choice, was a starter when he first got to the big leagues. Did not have a lot of success there, but when he went to the bullpen, his whole career turned around.
High fly ball center field. That ball hit pretty good. On the move is CAIN, still going back, looks up, and it's gone.
That is 4 solo shots today for Tigers hitters.
Over the center field wall, James McCann had enough to tie it up, and it's a 4-4 ball game. Number 4 on the season for McCann. 4 solo shots tonight for the Tigers.
The ball is flying out of this ballpark tonight. That's a breaking ball that was sitting on a tee for James McCann, and he didn't miss it. And Lorenzo Cain ran out of room. I can't ever remember the ball flying out of this yard the way that it's flying here this evening.
There's a ball hit to the right side of the infield, and Hosmer will make the play. That'll retire Aviles, 1 gone. 415 feet on a 1-2 pitch, and Hochevar comes in and gives up the lead.
Tigers fans eating curly fries tomorrow.
Yes, they are. In fact, they were eating them after the Castellanos home run in the 4th. Here is Ian Kinsler. Four runs on 8 hits for the Royals. 4 runs on 6 hits now for the Tigers. Kinsler is 0 for 3. Strikeout, pop-up, flyout. And he'll look at a strike on the outside corner from Hochevar.
Good fastball. And thrown by Hochevar at 95. Hochevar's dad played in the NBA. Also had a sister that played some volleyball, I believe. Very athletic family, the Hochavars.
That's driven in the air toward left field. That ball is hit pretty good as well, but it's going to be run down at the warning track by Eidner.
They say Eidner's a good defender. He's not Alex Gordon in left field, but they say that he equips himself very nicely out there, and he has a really good throwing arm. Didn't you tell me this kid threw like 97 miles an hour in college or something like that?
Eidner was a two-way player at Arkansas, and on the mound he threw 97. Now, how many guys throwing 97 in college do not get drafted as a pitcher?
That bat must have been good too, though.
Yeah, the Royals loved his power potential. Now here is Iglesias, and he looks at a ball outside, 1-0. Hochevar made 49 appearances out of the bullpen last year. 1-0 pitch, that's in for a strike.
He missed the entire 2014 season with Tommy John surgery.
Hochevar drafted as a starter, was a first-round pick. Here's the 1-1 swing and a miss. Good pitch there.
There's that cutter. This is 90 miles an hour, and it just cuts across the strike zone east to west. It's a good pitch. His had a little depth to it as well.
Line drive over the head of the shortstop Escobar into left. That'll keep the hitting streak going now for Iglesias. It is a 14-gamer. A 2-out single go-ahead run is on now, and it brings up Miguel Cabrera. That is the 7th Tigers hit, and now Hochevar going to have to deal with the number 3 hitter.
Miggy has not had good plate appearances tonight. All of those appearances against Danny Duffy, the left-hander.
Ball 1 to Cabrera. Of course, Miguel here a couple of years ago, back in 2012, was able to put the finishing touches on his Triple Crown season. He officially won it in this ballpark. And he's had great numbers against Hochevar. 450.
And it was a special night because the fans here in Kansas City And it was a pretty nice walk-up crowd that day because they had an idea they were watching history that night with Miguel capturing a triple crown. And Jim Leyland took him out of the game in the 9th inning, and the fans here in Kansas City gave Miggy a standing ovation. I'll never forget that night. And I know Miguel will never forget that night. As a matter of fact, he talked about how special that was to him, the fans giving him that standing O when he came out of the game that evening.
Well, winning a triple crown, I think, pretty much solidified the fact that he was going to be the MVP that year. He won him in back-to-back seasons, but that 2012 year.
I think Granderson also did something that was very classy in New York. I think Granderson had a chance to maybe tie Miggy for home runs or something that night. And Granderson did not take his final at bat that evening in New York, and that led Jim to take Miggy out of the game, which of course gave him the triple crown.
Time was called on that last pitch. Not only did Hochevar deliver it, but Cabrera took a swing at it.
Well, Miggy wasn't sure whether he was received timeout or not. There was a situation earlier this year where Miggy called timeout and the home plate umpire did not give it to him. And then Miggy took strike 3. He was not going to let that happen again this time.
But he had to hear the home plate umpire, though, didn't he?
You would think.
I mean, normally when you see pitchers just bring it home, the hitter will take it, and it's kind of odd to see him swing. He had a pretty good rip. Here's the 2-1. Down the right field line, heading back to the seats. 2-2 on Cabrera. The Tigers have tied it on the McCann home run. Just need to get a home run with a guy on base.
That would be nice.
All of the homers tonight have been solo shots. Here's the 2-2 again, and it's driven in the air to right field. That ball hit deep. Orlando going back to the wall. He leaves it, can't get it. It's gone. A 2-run shot for Miguel Cabrera, and the Tigers have the lead.
That is the 5th home run of the contest for the Tigers, and there's your homer, Mario, with a runner aboard.
Opposite field long ball for Cabrera. It is his 13th of the year. And the Tigers get to this Royals bullpen. Hochevar gives up 2 homers.
That's just a pretty swing there by Miguel. It's a good firm fastball, 4-seam variety. That ball was even off the plate. And somehow Miguel Cabrera hits a line drive into the bullpen of the Detroit Tigers.
382 feet on that 2-2 pitch. And now the Tigers have a 6-4 advantage.
That's what Johnny Damon used to talk about all the time. You don't necessarily have to be having a good day, and all it takes is one good swing to change the entire evening, and that's what happened there for Miguel.
Tigers have 5 home runs tonight, but that is the first that was not a solo.
Go figure. The Tigers hit 1 home run in Chicago. 1 home run in Chicago. They come here in a big ballpark. They got 5 tonight in one night.
In one night. Of course, it's also 96 degrees, too. That may have something to do with it. That's fouled straight back. 1 ball and 1 strike. And that Chicago ballpark is one that gives up a ton of homers. This is the second 5-homer game of the year for the Tigers. They also did it on May 31st against the Angels out in LA. 1-1 on Victor Martinez.
They actually hit 2 home runs in that series. The middle infielders hit both of them, KINSLER and Iglesias.
1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. That'll end the inning, but it's a big inning for the Tigers as they grab the lead against Luke Hochevar. Couple of home runs in the inning. James McCann, a solo shot. Later in the frame, Miguel Cabrera goes deep. Coming up the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by Jeff Glover and Associates Realtors. Now have the lead. 6-4 is our score. Brett Eibner, his first career home run for the Royals. The Tigers with their second 5-homer game this season. Verlander has been able to navigate through some problem innings, and well, now he has the lead. He'll go back to work and deliver a ball up high to WHIT Merrifield.
Yeah, Verlander gave up 3 runs in the first couple of frames here tonight to the Kansas City Royals. And then really after that, he settled in nicely. And the only damage done against him in the last 4 frames is the solo homer.
Merrifield looks at a strike. The Tigers are trying to break the Royals' 9-game winning streak at home. And they have a 2-run lead. Merrifield, Escobar, and Hosmer top of the order facing Verlander. We're in the bottom of the 7th. And a bouncing ball slowly towards second base. KINSLER throws him out. Well, Tigers fans, fill out your 2016 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot now at Tigers.com on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Vote up to 35 times. Vote today, vote tomorrow at Tigers.com/vote. The important thing is you vote. Tigers need some help to get some of their better players up there.
Them folks in the stands look hot tonight, partner.
Don't they? Man, really from the first pitch. The crowd here is filled in nicely. It's a packed house here tonight in KC. There's a strike called on Escobar. Also, if you tuned in late here tonight, J.D. Martinez left the game with a non-displaced fracture of his right elbow when he ran into the wall in right field, trying to catch a fly ball. So that's the only downer so far tonight. Here's the 0-1, bouncing ball slowly towards short. Iglesias, quick flip, 2 gone.
Here's that play. If you missed it earlier in the game, Orlando, their right fielder, he hit one down in the right field corner, and JD ran over and tried to brace himself, and he knew right away that he had hurt something, and that was the elbow, but he still was alert enough to go over and pick the ball up and then throw it back in a lot of pain.
Two outs now for Hosmer. Justin has had an even 100 pitches. Big swing there by Hosmer.
The curveball that Verlander has been featuring today has been a tremendous pitch. And that's the one thing about Verlander, Mario, in this 7-game stretch where he's been very good. Usually one pitch is his go-to pitch that night, depending on the balance of the opposing team's lineup. It could be the slider, it could be the elevated fastball, it could be the changeup, but today it's been the curve.
It's nice to have a deep arsenal, isn't it?
Yeah, because if one's not working on any particular evening, then you can simply go to the other one until you find the feel for that pitch that has not been good for you.
Tigers with some action in their bullpen. You saw Wilson and Green warming up.
It's a really warm night tonight, so you wonder if Brad will allow Justin to go back out there for the 8th if he's able to get out of the 7th here with no damage. Ugh, filthy. It just falls right off the table. And when you have that high leg kick like Hosmer has, it's kind of hard to time it. That slow breaking ball.
One ball, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. It got away from McCann, but James will simply throw to the bag for the out. And Verlander a 1-2-3 7th. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. On Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Chevrolet, more than you expect for less than you imagine. And by Crown Royal Regal Apple Flavored Whiskey. Please drink responsibly. Back here at Kauffman Stadium, JV getting the high fives and the handshakes. Plenty of smiles as well. The Tigers lead 6-4. And Justin kind of gutted his way through this one here tonight.
He really did. It wasn't easy because this Royals team has been so good here in their own ballpark, but he was able to wait him out until his offense woke up and gave him some runs, and he left with a lead if he's done.
Peter Moylan now is on for the Royals.
And Moylan has a fastball that tops out at about 90 miles an hour. He throws a lot of sliders and very few changeups. So basically fastball and slider coming out of the hand of Mr. Moylan.
6-4, the Tigers have the lead. It'll be Romine to lead it off for Detroit. Andrew looks at a bender that drops in for a strike.
Starting to see more and more right-handers drop down to this angle that Moylan is throwing from. It used to be an angle that mostly left-handers used. But right-handers have kind of gotten smart lately, Mario. If you can trick some right-handed batters throwing from underneath here with good breaking balls and good changeups, you can pitch for a while. You can be a situational guy in the big leagues.
Here's the 1-1. That's pulled in the air to right, and it's going to drop in for a base hit.
And Romine was pressed into duty tonight after the J.D. Martinez injury, and he's gotten himself a couple of hits.
2 out of 3 for Mr. Romine. Tigers now looking for some insurance runs here in the 8th.
And Moylan does not throw very hard, so we'll see if this is a matchup that Romine might be able to steal a base. You have to steal against the pitcher. You're not going to steal a bag against their catcher, Salvador Perez. He throws too well.
Castellanos has hit 3 deep fly balls tonight. One of them left the ballpark. Moylan slings it home, strike 1. Peter Moylan is from Australia, like Warwick Suffold of the Tigers, their rookie that is currently on the DL. Here's the 0-1. 0-2.
And Moylan about 1-1 getting the ball out of his hand into the catcher's glove, Perez. So that might be a little too risky for Romine to try to steal second. Anything under 1-3 is good for a pitcher and usually gives a good catcher an opportunity to throw the base runner out.
Nick thought about it, laid off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Justin Upton will be next. Duffy went the first 5. Soria pitched the 6th. Hochevar the 7th. And now Moylan here in the 8th.
The last 2 pitches to Castellanos, more than with a breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. And then he started that last pitch right at Nick and tried to catch the inside corner.
Two and 2 on Castellanos.
Another slider.
Wouldn't bite.
I wouldn't mind sending Romine here. It's 3-2 count. There's nobody out. Even if Castellanos does strike out, Romine should be able to get a good enough jump and have an opportunity to steal second base. And we'll see what Brad's thinking, though. If he doesn't go, you know why. It's Perez behind the plate.
Yep.
Ain't got nothing to do with Moylan.
Here's the 3-2 runner goes, and it's ball 4 inside. So the Tigers have 2 aboard now. Here's the upcoming pitching matchup presented by Gordon Chevrolet. Look who's on the hill tomorrow for the Tigers.
Must-see TV tomorrow night. Michael Fulmer in his last 4 starts, he has been tremendous. He has not given up more than 3 hits in any of those starts, and his stuff is simply spectacular. Fastball 97, 98, good slider, but the changeup has been the pitch that has really elevated his game and allowed him to get some easy outs in the big leagues. He's made it look easy up here, Mario.
He really has. After his first couple of starts, he got his feet on the ground, and he has just really taken off since.
Tremendous confidence, carries himself very well.
He'll be opposed by Yordano Ventura tomorrow.
Ooh, that should be a good one.
Here is Justin Upton, who is 0 for 3. Tigers have 2 on, nobody out. And Upton takes a strike.
You have to make sure you get the sinker baller up in the strike zone. If you're J up, you don't want to ground into a double play here. It's exactly what Mr. Moylan's trying to get you to do with that low 3/4 arm slot that he's featuring. Sinker slider.
Now the 0-1. Ground ball, but it finds a hole down the first base line. Into the corner it goes. Romine rounding third. He will score. Castellanos goes to third, and the Tigers lead 7-4. Upton with a clutch hit. That is his 23rd RBI of the year.
That is a beautiful piece of hitting by Justin. I don't know if he was trying to go in that direction, but Hosmer at first base was well off the first base bag, and he sliced it right past Hosmer for a single down in the right field corner and an RBI.
Well, the Tigers in great shape now. Not only do they lead by 3, they have runners at first and third and nobody out. And it'll bring up James McCann. The Tigers' first hit with a runner in scoring position tonight. They've relied on the home run ball for their previous runs. And McCann his solo shot in the 7th. James looks at a strike, 0-1. Single walk and an RBI hit. The 0-1 pitch. High fly ball, center field. That'll be deep enough to get the run in. Cain going back. He's under it. Castellanos tags and scores. Throw comes into second base, and the Tigers lead 8-4. So McCann gets it done, driving in a run. Second RBI of the night for McCann, 18 for the year.
Gotten a couple of these loyal Royal fans up out of their seats, partner, and they're headed for the exits.
Yep, trying to beat the traffic. There's a ball inside. Mike Aviles now with 1 on and 1 out. And Moylan brings it home, and it missed inside. 2-0. Did you say Putnam?
I sure did.
How do you spell that?
P-A-T-N-U-H.
N-A.
Putnam. You could add an A. You could add an H on there too if you want to.
Here's the set by Moylan, and the 2-0 pitch. Bouncing ball slowly toward the shortstop. Escobar with the backhand. 2 gone, advance the runner. Well, JV with 7 strong innings tonight. He was able to pitch through some trouble, waited for his offense to get going, and they finally did. Shane Green warming up. It appears he'll be coming in.
You always see Verlander and Fulmer close by, and you always see them chopping it up with one another. And Fulmer told a story about in spring training how he had a rough outing, and Verlander was the first one to come over to him and started asking him some questions about what were you doing out there, what were you thinking. And he said it really meant a lot to him that Verlander would take that time in spring training when he didn't really know him to kind of help him get through that particular start in spring.
Yeah, because Fulmer struggled early in spring camp.
The Tigers sent him out early, and they wanted him to go down and work on his off-speed pitch. They knew he had it, but they didn't see it.
Here's a ball driven to right center field. That's down a base hit. Here comes Upton around to score. Ian Kinsler gets into the act, and the Tigers get another run. 9-4 ball game.
Yeah, but Verlander said that he just loves helping the young man, and Fulmer's all ears down there. I think Verlander might see a little Fulmer in him.
Yeah, he could.
Good swing here by Ian. Most of his damage has been done to the pull field, but his last couple of hits have gone to right field. Right field a couple of nights ago, and then he went to right field here tonight for a knock.
45 RBIs on the year now for Kinsler as Iglesias looks at a strike.
Ian Kinsler should be a lock to make the All-Star team this year.
Gosh, I would hope so. I know there are a lot of talented second basemen in the American League, but Kinsler is having as good a season as any of them, if not better.
Altuve and Cano come to mind. And Dustin Pedroia also having a good year.
Odor.
Yep, but Kinsler takes a back seat to none of them.
Tigers trailed 4-3 after the Royals got a run in the fifth, but they have had 6 unanswered runs. Jin-Ming Wong warming up. And the Royals, Ben Moylan, having trouble getting through the 8th.
And Wong used to have one of the best sinkers in the game when he was in the starting rotation for the Yankees.
Here's the 0-2. Three runs on 3 hits for the Tigers here in the 8th. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Lifted down the line, but foul and back out of play.
And Buck Farmer has joined Green now in the bullpen, and more than likely it will be Buck Farmer if he's able to get warm enough. And when this inning ends, if not, Green will come in. If the score would have stayed at a 2-run lead for the Tigers, that would have been Shane Green coming in the 8th inning. But now Buck Farmer will probably come in. Green has been outstanding since coming off the disabled list.
A little chopper toward the shortstop. Escobar tried to barehand, he couldn't do it. He was able to do that play in the first inning to get Iglesias, but that time couldn't barehand it.
And the one in the first inning was a tougher play. This one was in an area where he didn't have to reach down as far as he did in the very first inning, and that'll be the 10th infield single of the season for Iglesias.
Well, it's been a nightmarish inning for Peter Moylan. This will be the 8th man that he faces. The Tigers now have 12 hits. And Cabrera looks at a strike. Miggy 2-run shot the other way against Hochevar in the 7th. Tiger bats booming again tonight as they did in that series against Chicago. There's a little fly ball into center field. Medium depth. CAIN is there, and that is that for Detroit, but a big inning. Tigers able to play 3 more runs and now have a 9-4 lead.
The 1-800 calls Sam, call of the game. Shane Green has been outstanding out of that bullpen the last couple of times Brad has called upon him. It was Sunday. It was the Bronx in New York, 1-2-3 against his former mates. And then in Chicago on Monday, well, 1-2-3 as well. So real nice outings for Shane Green. Well, really 4 good outings for Green since coming off the disabled list.
And Lorenzo Cain will be the first man he faces here in the 8th inning. Verlander finishing the game with 7 strikeouts.
And Green fastball gets up to 95. That would be the 4-seam fastball. Got a real nice little breaking ball / cutter. Very few changeups does Green throw.
I know he wants to start as you look at his numbers, and obviously he's done that in the past, but if he continues to perform out of the back end of the bullpen like he has been, it's going to be tough to move him out of that spot.
And he has said he's comfortable in where he's at right now.
Here's the 0-1. That'll back him out of there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's never really pitched out of the bullpen, but he looks like it for sure. Throwing a lot of strikes.
Lorenzo Cain's had a good night. Single, double RBI.
Lorenzo Cain is a really good baseball player. And we spent a lot of time talking about that youngster, that young shortstop in Chicago now, Tim Anderson, who didn't really start playing baseball until his junior year. Well, Lorenzo Cain didn't start playing baseball until he was in high school too.
You don't see that very often, especially these days now with all the travel teams that start early.
Because baseball is such a skilled sport.
The 1-2 pitch. Soft line drive to second on 1 hop. KINSLER. 1 gone.
So by the time you get to high school, if you haven't started playing baseball by that time, most kids have no shot.
Well, Lorenzo said when he didn't make the basketball team, he wanted to play football. Mom said, nope. Nope. Not played football, so find something else. And baseball was it.
They said when he first started playing baseball, he really didn't even know how to hold the bat.
No. In fact, he showed up at the first practice in jeans.
Probably some Jordashes back in them days, though. Some Calvin Kleins.
I don't know about that.
You know you had some Calvin Kleins.
I did.
Some Jordashes.
Members only jacket.
You know it. I had every color.
Here is Salvador Perez. Now, what was your favorite color of the members only jacket?
I had a white one. I did, man. I used to sport that bad boy.
We need to get a photo of that.
I had black one. I had all kind of colors. They're making a comeback, I think.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Have you held on to them? You still?
Oh no, they long gone. They're long gone.
0-2. Perez a single hit by a pitch in the 4th. He's been on base twice. 9-4 Tigers lead. We're in the 8th. The 0-2 swing and a miss.
Do it, Greeny. Do it, Greeny.
2 gone. That is 8 strikeouts now for Tigers pitching tonight.
Perez had no chance. He's probably the only one happy to see, not happy to see Verlander leave. Great breaking ball there shown by Shane Green.
KENDRYS Morales has not had a good night. He's 0 for 3. Shifting on him defensively around to the right side. Ball 1 high. The average now for Morales down to 202, which is really surprising that as we head toward the end of June, he is still scuffling offensively. Ball inside, 2 balls, no strikes.
Because we talked about KENDRYS at the beginning of our show tonight and just how valuable he was last year. They don't make it to the World Series without all the damage that he did, driving in over 100. The batting average, the way that he protected CAIN and also Hosmer in the batting order.
Couldn't hold up there. 2-1.
He had a day to remember as well at Comerica Park. Remember that day he had a triple and he had 3 homers in 1 game against Tigers pitching.
Yeah, that was last September. Finished 4 for 4 in that game.
That should have been the equivalent of a cycle.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Bouncing ball left side of the infield. Diving, sprawling play, but Castellanos can't come up with it. Oh boy, he's not hurt now, is he? He's holding on to his wrist. Don't want to see this. Kevin Rand has come out too much tonight.
Yeah, Kevin's been a busy man the last few nights.
Nick was waving him off, but Kevin says, nope, coming out to take a look.
See if that wrist rolls over underneath his body. Ugh, sure did. Same thing that Aviles did the other day, right?
Correct. And it didn't look good for Aviles, and all of a sudden he was in the lineup the next day. Tigers already lost JD Martinez from the game tonight, and for a period of time with a fracture in his elbow. Nick says he's okay.
Castellanos like, I'm not coming out of here. Very seldom do you let me play in the 8th inning. I'm going to stay out here.
And I'm staying in the 9th inning too, so there.
You got no choice tonight.
Nick's still trying to get some feeling back.
Morales doesn't get many infield singles, but with the overshift in the infield for the Tigers, he couldn't have placed that one any better than he did.
Here is Paulo Orlando, a triple and a run scored in the 2nd. He was the one that hit the ball that eventually JD got injured on, running into the wall in right field. Bouncing ball, base hit right field. He's gone the other way just about exclusively tonight.
This kid's hitting over 330, man. He's having a nice year, and they sure need him to step up, especially with Gordon being on the disabled list.
Give the Royals 10 hits now. And it brings up CHESLOR, Cuthbert. Green got a ground out and a strikeout, but now a couple of hits for the Royals. Royals again have a 9-game home winning streak on the line here. The Tigers lead by 5 late. Strike one on Cuthbert.
Good cut fastball at 89 thrown by Green. No problem for Green throwing strikes here tonight. He's thrown 13 pitches total, and he's only missed the strike zone with 3 of those.
Here's the 0-1. Ground ball back up the middle. KINSLER on the backhand. Quick throw. Nicely done.
He bailed Greeny out there.
No runs, 2 hits. They leave 2-8 in the books tonight in Kansas City as we go to the 9th. Tigers in the lead. there for the Blue Jays. Here in KC, Tigers lead at 9-4 as we go to the 9th inning. And the Tigers face a new pitcher. It'll be Chien-Ming Wang.
And lots of sinkers thrown by Wong. He also has a slider. He has a curveball and a changeup and an occasional split-fingered fastball. And he's pitching some good baseball for the Royals. He's got a sub-3 ERA, and he's been in 20 contests this year.
First man he will face Victor Martinez. It'll be Victor, then Romine, then Castellanos. Tigers tonight 9 runs, 12 hits, and the Royals 4 runs on 10 hits.
I was looking at some defensive shift numbers on both of these teams before the game today. And both of them are in the latter 5 of all of baseball in shifts. So they don't like to shift all that often, but it appears tonight that seemed like every hitter has been shifted on both teams, really. But the numbers indicate that the Tigers and the Royals are in the bottom 5 in shifting against the opponents.
Well, here's how they play Victor from the left side. The second baseman playing way out there in short right. Here's the 0-1. High fly ball right field. That ball's hit pretty good. It's going to the track. It's going to the wall. And Victor Martinez has hit another. Martinez's 3rd home run of the night. And the Tigers hit another long ball to go up 10-4.
How's that shift working for you now?
Not real good.
You can't put anybody out there. What a night for Victor.
A 3-homer night, 12 on the season for Martinez. Well, he had to sit down 3 games in Chicago, but he's come back with a vengeance here tonight.
And boy, did they miss him in Chicago. They dropped that series in Chicago, really, because Victor couldn't play.
Here's Romine.
And if you think about it, Chris Sale was probably the happiest man in that ballpark yesterday that he did not have to face Victor Martinez.
Last 3-homer game for a Tiger, J.D. Martinez against the Yankees. That was last June.
Yeah, that was on Father's Day.
Here's the 0-1.
How about Victor? 2 homers right-handed and then 1 left-handed.
Well, that gives the Tigers 6 home runs now. So does that mean double curly fries?
It should.
0-2 on Romine. He came on defensively after J.D. Martinez was injured, and Romine is chipped in with a couple of hits. Pops this one in the air to shallow left. And it's going to be caught on the run by Brett Eibner.
One more look at the Victor Martinez home run. His 3rd of the night. It's a 2-seam fastball thrown by Wong that did not get to the bottom of the strike zone. It stayed right around the belt buckle, sitting on a tee. And for Victor, that classic left-handed swing, and landed it over the 387 sign. It's a happy bench, too.
The second time in Victor's career he's had a 3-homer game, but the first time since 04 in Seattle when he did it. And there you go. Big swing there by Castellanos. Now the 0-1 pitch. Castellanos takes the ball outside. Chien-Ming Wang's first season in the big leagues was 05 with the New York Yankees. He had a 19-win season back in 2006.
He used to have one of the best sinkers in the sport his first few years in a Yankee uniform.
1-1, darts low. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Last Tiger to home run, or to homer I should say, from both sides of the plate in the same game, Carlos Guillen, and that was back in 09. 3 of them tonight for Victor Martinez.
ball flying out of this yard tonight.
Here's the 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, 3-2. 6 homers for the Tigers and 1 for the Royals. Justin Upton waiting on deck. Tigers now have 13 hits. They had 38 hits in that 3-game series in Chicago.
John Keating should have a field day in the clubhouse tonight.
There's the strike call. Got him looking. 2 gone. Speaking of Keating, we'll check in now with John with the preview of tonight's Tigers Live.
No way to jinx it for me, Rod.
You don't believe in jinx, do you, John?
No, I don't.
Don't make me block you on Twitter.
No, I'm kidding. There's so many good things to talk about. Obviously, all the home runs. Justin Verlander with a gutty performance, but we'll have to get into the bummage as well. Losing J.D. Martinez, to what degree, and what might the Tigers do from here concerning J.D.'s roster spot if a move has to be made. We'll be in the office of Brad Ausmus immediately after the game. Mickey York and Craig Monroe at our Call Sam Studios coming up, guys.
All right, John, thanks. There's a one-hopper hit back up the middle, bobbled there by Merrifield, but he will throw him out. Don't make me block you on Twitter.
I'll get him.
A run on the home run by Martinez. On Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Good night for the ball club tonight. 10 runs on 13 hits. And it's last call for the Royals here in the bottom of the 9th inning in Kansas City. Tigers have a new pitcher now. It'll be right-hander Alex Wilson.
And Wilson's starting to pitch a little bit better. And pitching in his 25th game now this season, has 6 holds, a 4.26 ERA. The ERA continues to inch its way down with every positive outing that he has. Fastball, cuts the fastball as well at about 90-92, and a good breaking ball.
So Wilson goes to work as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. First one home is a strike call. Eidner, the number 9 hitter, has had a nice night. Single homer, 2 RBIs, first major league home run.
Everything that we heard about Brett Eidner before the contest today was very positive. A lot of glowing words for this young man, and he has turned out to back up those people that were giving him glowing praise today.
And there's going to come a day when he's old and gray. He's going to be able to tell some grandkids that my first home run was against Justin Verlander.
Absolutely. And when he tells them he hit it hard, he won't be lying either.
Nope. to dead center.
He won't have to stretch the truth at all.
Royals have had 10 hits of their own. Wilson trying to get the final 3 outs here, protecting a 10-4 lead. Here's the 0-2. Missed inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
22-7 are the Kansas City Royals here in this ballpark this year.
9-game home winning streak. 3 outs away from ending. There's a ball inside.
And with a win tonight that they're probably not going to get, they would have gone 23-7, and that would have matched the best Royals record and set back in 1989 on the first 30 home games. They would have matched the best record in first 30 games of a season.
Bouncing ball up the middle. Iglesias. Oh, what a scoop, a spin, a throw, and he got him.
Oh, he's such a baller, man. That boy can do it at shortstop. And I keep hearing people talk about he's not a good shortstop. The metrics and the analytics grade him out to be below average. And I'm just like, really? I don't believe it.
Well, the numbers are what they are, and some of the numbers say that he has not made that play very well this year, but he looked pretty good there.
The play he made last night, I mean, highlight film with the glove, flipping it back to Ian Kinsler.
Here is Whit Merrifield. Single and 4 at bats tonight for Merrifield. He started the first with a base hit and then scored later in the inning. Fulmer tomorrow against Yordano Ventura in game 2 in the series. That ought to be a good one as well.
And both guys have electric stuff. And Ventura, he pitched very well his last outing. Both guys young. Both guys have fastballs that get up into the upper 90s. Both guys have good breaking balls, good changeups. Should be a fun night at the ballpark tomorrow night. Friday night in Kansas City.
Michael Fulmer tomorrow night going for his 8th win of the year. He is 7-1 with a 2.52. And cool as they come on the mound as well.
He really is.
The 0-2 is hammered to right field, but foul. Wilson coming on for Green, who threw the 8th inning. JV tonight went 7. That'll get right through the wickets. Mr. McCann to the backstop. One ball, 2 strikes on Whit Merrifield. Escobar waiting on deck. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss.
Let's take one more look at the Iglesias play, ranging far to his left to get Eibner at first base. He grabs it and then he does a 360, and then he still throws accurately to Miguel Cabrera, grabbing it and flipping it across the diamond from underneath. And then that play he made last night was just sick. We talked about this at the top of our show. He grabbed it with the glove, and then somehow once it got in the glove, he just flipped it to Kinsler, who barehanded it, and they nearly turned 2 on that play. What if he throws that ball over Ian's head?
Well, he has the confidence that he's not going to. And, you know, as good as that play was, Kinsler was equally as good with that barehanded grab. And he nearly, as you said, got that double play.
Those two have made some really nice plays up the middle. Kinsler not nearly as flashy as Iglesias.
Here's the 0-1, and it's a strike on the outer edge.
A good win here tonight. And this will be the 7th game of the 10-day road trip And Tigers have won 3 and lost 3, so it's very important for the Tigers to play at least 500 baseball on this trip. That's what you want to do when you leave the house, play 500, especially going through the cities they went to.
That one just missed.
Started in New York, a tough place for the Tigers to win. And they did win there. Then they dropped 2 of 3 in Chicago.
And I think they're kicking themselves because they thought they probably should have won at least 2 out of 3 there.
Especially the way the White Sox were playing when we got there. But Chris Sale all of a sudden was Chris Sale again yesterday.
2-2 the count on Escobar. Two on, nobody on, bottom of the ninth. Tigers up 10-4. Now the 2-2. Bouncing ball to second should do it. KINSLER has it. And the Tigers win game 1 here in KC.
That's a wrap.
Good night of ball tonight for the Tigers offense. They homer their way to a 10-4 victory. And in doing so, gained a game on the Royals, who came in tied for first place with the Cleveland Indians. So on a warm night here tonight in KC, Tigers come away with a win. Handshakes and high fives all the way around. We'll be back.